only need a small dab to reduce the appearance of puffiness and dark circles.
That's exactly what I needed.
Is every food better when you cook on home?
About really, that's how take cold dips in long waters.
Well, but cold dips can make your fertility go up, so and that's a little bit of a catch-22.
Well, right after the holidays, you get that January baby. That's
All
fine.
right. Lately, I've been hearing young folks cook everything on high heat. I mean, is this true?
Really?
Does our generation cook everything on low by comparison? This is not something I've ever thought about.
Okay, so with that in mind, the question is begged. If specific foods were cooked at a very low and a very high temperature, what sort of culinary discoveries could be unlocked? We're starting off with scrambled eggs that Nicole scrambled right over there.
It was just happening.
As fresh can be. Nicole, what did you do?
So Rhett, on your side, we have 3 eggs that we cooked at 220 for 6 minutes. And then Link, on your side, we have eggs that I cooked at 500 for 1 minute.
5-minute difference.
You'll see people talk about cooking eggs on low, scrambled eggs on low.
I've heard of that.
And even Link has heard of that.
Yeah, I think that's what it should be done.
And that's what that's what Jesse does. But I like them to be a little bit a soft scramble, they might call it.
My boy right here, he's holding back on you. He likes the softest of scrambles. He just doesn't know it. He'll serve it up to people. You got to prepare for a soft scramble, because it is.
If Gordon Ramsay was
In the-
cooking a scrambled egg for you, it would come real soft.
I know, but I would need a little bit of warning. It's much softer than that, which I think is perfectly soft. A little wet. This one's got some dryness to it. It's got some whiteness. It's got some brownness.
If you like the brown edges,
Yeah.
which sometimes I do,
I like a consistency that the lower heat gives you. It's more of an even experience. This one, there's some pieces that I feel like I need to avoid.
well, and if you were cooking for, because I do like, if you were doing like a pancake and egg breakfast for a bunch of people, sometimes that's
Like a big thing.
we went to lots of pancake breakfasts in our teens, 20s. We were parts of lots of movements that required lots of pancake breakfasts.
Because they're so cheap, Brett, and it's a fundraiser.
And they were made so fast. You sitting around here, swirling these around at the pancake breakfast, people are like, hurry up! The 1 minute egg, I think it passes, especially for a bunch of teens.
Yeah,
But if we had to choose,
I'm all over this. Because you can dial in exactly what you want. This is the decisions you have to make. You need to be a professional.
Nicole?
Who would
Yeah.
that?
do we sound smart right now?
You sound like you might have gone to community college and then you dropped out at the last possible
Hey,
semester.
listen, you don't want to start a war. I mean, the community college crowd's already coming after me. Divert some of your attention to Nicole.
So we're in lockstep agreement here when it comes to scrambled eggs.
Go low. Moving on to grilled cheese.
Yes.
What's the difference here, Nicole?
So right on your side, we cooked it at 250 for about 15 minutes, and Link for yours at 475 for 5 minutes.
The 475 really puts a little
Darkness.
That's not burned. That's what kind of reaction do
We
you call
call
that?
it the Maillard reaction. It's pretty much just proteins plus sugar plus heat equals caramelized browning deliciousness.
A lot on it too.
But you like a light biscuit. I don't think you're gonna go for that cheese over there.
This looks good. Butter on here.
Of course.
Oh! I love a grilled cheese. And when you look right here across the front, this is one way some might describe this across the front is sustained cheese. The cheese is sustained across the front. So there's many different ways that you can use that term.
Yeah, I didn't realize that sustained cheese made a fart noise that was also sustained.
Yeah.
What kind of cheese are you using? Because this is immaculate.
American.
Honey, it's just 2 Kraft singles on
Yeah.
top of one another. It's
2
nothing
Kraft
fancy.
singles.
It's the best type of cheese for a grilled. Oh God, that's so good.
You gotta do 2 though.
You got to do 2.
You gotta do 2.
And so, I think we may have already said this, but I'll say it again.
Sustained cheese? Yeah.
Sustained cheese. typically, if you were cooking a grilled cheese, you would go for something in between these two.
Yeah, like 325-ish, I'd say.
Right. So this is, finding out if on the other end of the... Because sometimes I'll get really excited about a grilled cheese, and then I'll get a little bit distracted, and it'll come out like this. And I always talk myself into it still being okay.
Dig into 2 new high-protein Greek yogurt bowls, packed with goodness, only at Smoothie King.
Take the next step in treating your moderate to severe ulcerative colitis with Entyvio, the only gut-focused treatment for UC that helps block inflammation in the gut and works right where you need it. Now is the time to talk with your doctor about the results you want, rapid response, and for many people, visible improvement of the gut lining. Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of liver problems and serious infection. Although unlikely, PML, a rare brain infection that can result in death, cannot be ruled out. Your doctor may test for TB. Tell your doctor if you're prone to or have an infection, sores, or flu-like symptoms. Learn more about the only treatment for UC that works right where you need it. And ask your doctor about gut-focused Entyvio, including the Entyvio pen.
Gut-focused Entyvio.
And it is good.
The cheese is still sustained.
I don't mind that little burnt taste. I don't like it as much as the burnt taste.
I think of it as a Mylar reaction.
My yard.
Is that like the silver balloon that the environment hates?
Remember, my yard. My yard.
But Mylar.
My yard.
But what's Mylar? That's the balloons, right?
Yeah, there's a Mylar in my yard.
Like, Link, ask yourself, where do I pee?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And lately he's been peeing directly into a Mylar balloon. It's just hanging out there on a string, getting heavier by the day.
It gets better the more that I eat. But I'm not eating as much as you. Well, of course, what's new?
What's new, man?
Woo! This is just where I'm at.
I would have thought
There's nothing better to me than this.
Yeah, I would have thought that possibly 250 would not have been able to get the crispiness, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to wait an additional 10 minutes for this? I mean, you got places to do, places to pee.
I'm sorry, I've got places to do. I've got to get out of here. No, sir, it's totally worth it. And you're with me.
I'm with you.
Yes.
So
grilled cheese. Go low. Burger time. Nicole, thick burger. That's a thick burger. It looked like a meatball burger.
Yeah, intentionally thick is what I like to call it.
Uh-huh.
For this one, Rhett, your side was cooked at 200 for 15 minutes, and Link, yours was cooked for 7 minutes at 425 on a cast iron skillet specifically.
Wow.
But the intention was so that like a thin one, obviously, you don't have an opportunity to
Really
notice
see
a difference.
Traditionally, with thin patties, like a smash burger, you're gonna want to cook it on high heat always. Like, I've never seen a recipe for a smash burger cooked
Right.
on low
Right.
before, so it made more sense for us as a team just to decide to do a thick burger for this experiment.
Oh, slaw, lettuce, whatever that is, going everywhere.
Oh, I got something.
No cheese.
No cheese.
It's a tasty burger.
Thank you.
Okay.
This allows us to focus on the meat a little more.
Okay, well, I gotta do a side by side over here, right?
That's tasty. It's in no way. I mean, this one's blackened. Did I say this'n?
Oh.
This'n's black. I've been talking to my dad a lot more.
Yeah, this one has a crispy outside.
Did you say this'n?
Listen. And, I've already taken a bite, so forgive me. I'm gonna pull this burger out.
What you gonna do? Just eat it.
Isolate the meat.
Meat isolation commence.
Yeah, you don't get that crispy edge on this one.
But the meat has more taste. There's more flavor of it.
Disagree.
Well, you're the one isolating. Tell me.
I think this is the first one in which high is the winner.
Let me do a little isolation.
I think that the crispy outside, the reaction that has happened there, is adding some flavor
Because we know that
that I'm missing over here.
reactions are happening. That's why we were talking about it in the last round. It's just, cooking's all chemistry. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Thermodynamics. Just a little bit of little bit of electrolysis, you know.
Now, this might be a little bit late, and I probably should have said it a couple of minutes ago, but meat isolation was my nickname in high school.
Delayed, but totally worth it.
Mine was electrolysis.
Well, Rhett, I think I'm agreeing with you. There's not too much difference.
This is still good. I just finished the whole meat, but I like that one better.
Burgers, try high.
Looking to sell your house? How would you like to get a cash offer within minutes and close in 5 days? I'm Andrew the Home Buyer, and I make selling your home really easy. No commissions, no closing costs.
It's cookie time.
We've got a big difference between these two. Over
40 minutes.
over half an hour
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah,
$250 for 40 minutes,
that's a long time.
and then $450 for 7 minutes.
And they both they meet my standard of an unburnt cookie.
There is a difference though, especially on the bottom.
Yeah, it's certainly browner.
When you get down to $250 and go for 40 minutes, you're in barbecue town.
The
Yeah.
brisket of cookies, if you will.
Uh-huh.
Brisket cookies.
I think this might be.
Call it that.
I think this might be a discovery.
Well, taste it
Take a
first.
bite.
It's soft. It's wet.
It looks like
My favorite MC Hammer song.
a cookie that would be
Soft and wet.
like
It was right after That's Why We Pray
on the album.
on the album.
Yep. Yep. I mean, that's why we pray you can't touch this, I think. So it's soft and wet, but
You can't touch
you can't
it
touch this
until you're married.
until that's why we pray. It's like celibacy week.
It's soft and wet, but you can't touch this until
So-
you're married.
So
and if you
that's
do,
why you pray.
That's why you pray. Oh,
Oh.
you pray to not touch it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you don't have to just pray for forgiveness. You can pray for strength.
What about praying for permission?
You can beg for permission.
God, let me do this one time.
What I'm trying to tell you is that this cookie,
That's
Looks
sacrilegious,
like-
I'm sorry.
it's one of those real soft ones that just came out of the oven super quick.
Yeah.
But it has this resiliency to retain that appearance for ever how long it's been sitting, which has been at least a few hours, right?
Like one.
Okay. It's very good. That's all I'm trying to say.
And this is just more traditional, but only 7 minutes?
What's the square on top? What is that?
I'm not gonna lie, I use Toll House chocolate chip cookies, and it comes in a square. And I wasn't gonna like
Yeah.
roll it into a ball.
You know,
You cut the square.
No,
so
they-
it's
they're perforated.
prepackaged.
They're
Yeah,
perforated.
they're perforated into
Oh, I know.
squares.
I know what you're talking about. Did I expose you or something?
No.
I didn't expect you to make the cookies from scratch.
I did.
Good.
No, I didn't. They're both good. I'm torn.
I can't believe I might be thinking this one's better. It's dynamic. This one's one note.
And that one, because it's only 7 minutes, the inside is still nice and gooey.
Mm-hmm. A little crispness.
Goes a long way. That's what you were going to say, right?
A little crispness is acceptable.
Not quite as catchy. I like this one better.
Huh.
Is that surprising?
Is that surprising?
I
It's
could have
surprising.
sworn.
Yeah, this is surprising to me.
I could have sworn that we were going to like this one
I
better.
know. Why don't I like these as much?
I don't know.
Because they're not dynamic. I think you need to watch them closely, but you do need to try hard. I'd like to extend an invitation for you to check out the Mythical Society. If you want to connect with other mythical beasts, be a part of the community that you're helping create, do that over there at the Mythical Society. You'll be accepted. You'll be welcomed. And you can talk about all the decisions we make and pick us apart.
Yeah, and we're working on a Discord thread called Sustained Cheese, but they have not let me do it yet.
You can
We
just-
need
you
we
can
need a
just create-
quorum.
You can just go in there and create it.
Okay, so we've got two sous vide ribeye steaks, pre-sliced. I always appreciate a pre-sliced steak. Can I just say that? Well, this one was cooked at 120 degrees for 2.5 hours, and then 160 degrees for an hour, and then you put them in the broiler to sort of.
To get a crust on them, yeah.
Oh, so we've got a 90-minute difference. Boy, I mean that's a lot. I'm trying to figure out which piece. I'm gonna go for an edge. I'm not.
The sous vide steak, man, it's hard to beat. I got one of those things, and I was really into it for the first year that I had it. And I need to go back.
You mean like a sous vide machine?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh.
Did you put it in the cabinet above your refrigerator? Because you'll never see that again.
I put it in the cabinet above the microwave.
Oh.
But I'm a tall man, and that's still in my line of sight.
Oh, wow. You actually access things in the cabinets above your fridge and microwave?
I do, but Jessie cannot get to them.
You want to keep the sous vide from her?
No. But I did use it quite a bit, and boy, you can make some perfect steaks that way.
Is that an accent?
That's my steak cooking accent. Perfect.
Getting medical care shouldn't feel like a maze. At Banner Urgent Care, we treat the little things and the big things. Connected to over 5,000 Banner Health doctors and specialists, you can leave knowing you're on the right path to get better.
I want to hear what Rev's got to say because he was more opinionated about steak.
On first bite, I like the one in front of you more. But I will say, when I did it before, I would put it at the internal temperature that I wanted it to be, like 3 or 4 degrees less than what I wanted to finish it at.
Because of
Leave it-
carryover cooking?
And just leave it in there for however long to get in there, and then sear it in like a cast iron pan. And that was a pretty reliable way to do it. But I will say, texture-wise, it's very different than like grilling a steak.
Right.
But they're both pretty similar, especially with the broil where you've got it like a little crunchy on the outside.
I don't think I
can't really tell a
I
difference.
don't think that there's a discernible enough difference to really come to a strong conclusion.
So, especially when you take into account an hour and a half difference, then we got to go with the shorter one. Just,
Oh no.
you're still eating and thinking.
Did I say that that one was better at one point?
You did
And
first.
now I'm thinking this one's better, which means it's a wash.
There you go. Sous vide steak.
Try high.
Do not click away because you would miss the donuts. Look at this donut. It's blonde, and this one's a little bit brown.
These are just baked?
I bet this one's cooked at a higher heat.
Sorry, I was munching on a piece of steak. They were deep fried.
Oh, deep fried.
Yeah.
8-minute difference here between these
200 degrees deep fried. That's a really low oil temperature.
It is a very, very low, and it took quite a long time.
This should be noticeably greasier. Is what I was thinking. Sitting in there for that much.
It's coated in cinnamon and sugar, which might soak up some of the grease.
It kind of reminds me.
Chewy.
Did you ever go down to Carolina Beach?
I think so. Why?
They had the best donuts when we were going there. You ever have them?
Nope.
They were known for their donuts.
No.
And they were this size,
name of
and
the
they
place?
were deep fried.
Hmm. Nope. Never had the privilege.
This really, it takes me back. The way that you put our donuts together after biting. Look at this. My friend made an infinity donut.
I did do that. Thank you for noticing.
Did you mean to?
Yeah. I thought,
Oh,
oh,
let's do it again.
oh, that'll work. A lot chewier. I thought the first one was chewy. But this one, boy, ain't nothing from that level of chewy.
Whoa. Do it again. Do it again. We'll be the Donut Brothers.
Are we having a moment?
My name is Donut Man number 1.
My name is Donut Man number 1 as well,
Yes.
which is so confusing.
But there is a difference between us. I've been soaking in the 200-degree oil for 15 minutes. And donut number 1 over here.
I've been soaking in 425 degrees.
7
minutes. But we're both number 1, if you ask us. Am I right? Forever.
I didn't name.
Forever.
I didn't name myself.
I was named after him.
in more ways than one. Okay.
There's a clear wiener here.
Well, I need to do the naan.
Oh, you want to do the naan? Indian restaurant. Nope. Nothing to be.
The oil being that high makes them too chewy.
Yep, it's drastic. We have to go over here.
Yeah.
Nicole, I
Yeah.
mean, we didn't have to tell you this.
Huh.
This one was obvious.
Yeah, does it almost taste like a pretzel?
Yeah.
The higher heat one?
Yeah.
In a bad way, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Donuts! Go low.
Okay, so
Which is
did we
weird.
go low for 3 and go high for 3? Is that what just happened? Yes. That's what happened.
And we're right here in the middle. There was some controversy over the steaks. We'll say that. There's other opinions flying out there.
We were told off camera that other people who had tasted these steaks felt there was a marked difference.
We did.
But we're not letting them into our donut club.
Thanks for coming and sharing this video.
You know what time it is.
Why are you so short? Look how short you are. Is your seat down?
I've been trying to get a little shorter.
My name is Demi, and this is Olive. We're from Salt Lake City, and we're 3rd degree Mythical Society members. Sorry that I didn't listen to Celibacy Week. And now it's time to spin the wheel of mythicality.
Yes, you should be ashamed.
And you are not forgiven by us or your child. We tried. We try so hard, and then you just don't listen.
Yeah, some people can't listen. Some people hear what you tell them to do, and they do the opposite. They're called contrarians, Link. We're going to donate $1,000 to Earth Justice to aid in their mission to use the courts to protect clean air, clean water, wildlife, and public health.
So don't donate to that.
Yeah, don't donate to that.
Yeah.
If you're a contrarian.
If you're a contrarian.
But if you're a sheep, donate
Dude.
to that. Link is below.
Click the top link to watch us play Over Under in Good Mythical More. The new Mythical Society is here. Unlock access to a community of mythical beasts and much more at mythicalsociety.com.
New from Einstein Bros Bagels, the $8 breakfast and brew. Build your own egg sandwich on a fresh baked bagel and pair it with a large hot or iced coffee. The $8 breakfast and brew. Your fresh fuel up.
Now we're baking.
Sprouts Myth number 3. It's just another grocery store.
With fresh organic produce everywhere, it's a bit like a wellness retreat.
Sprouts Myth number 45. They don't carry the weird stuff I'm into.
Oh, we've got your weird stuff covered.
Sprouts Myth number 1. I'm not a Sprouts person.
If you like fresh finds and better for you discoveries, you're probably a Sprouts person.
somewhere.
But I don't know. But I do remember, because I did news radio a couple times, and we hung out. I remember, I think we both, no, just you have more hair than probably already at this point.
I was fighting to keep it. I was hanging on.
Do you shave, or is that it? Is that?
Oh, I mean, I'm bald. If I didn't shave, I'd be bald all the way up here. But I got a hair transplant, and it was useless.
Yeah.
I did a joke about it. I go, having a hair transplant is like taking people that are healthy and moving them into a neighborhood where everyone's dying. This is just like, where did Bob go? He just fucking flew off the face of the earth.
So, you just accepted it and said, fuck it. Yeah.
I should have done it a long time ago. It's so much better. And I don't have to talk to a barber. I don't have to listen to boring fucking stories while they hold you hostage with a pair of scissors.
That's what this is. This gets me. I don't like shaving. It's kind of a pain in the ass, and I look like a kind of a turtle. I look like a turtle, when I shave. I don't like it. And it's not attractive to me. I jerk off to me all the time, so I want to keep things fresh. I probably don't have to. I could probably get clippers and stuff, but I go to one of my guys around the corner where I live, and I have this experience where I want that. I want to get in and out, right? Because of what you were saying. A lot of chit chat, and there are a couple guys, very quiet. Hi, how you doing? Good. Fist bump, whatever. You know what I want. Doom. Get out of there. There's one guy who just talks and then they have that the blade, the what do you call that? The blade razor. Thank you. And they got it right there, so you got to be polite. It's it's by your.
Yeah.
And I know I could avoid it if I just get some clippers and just do this thing, but I don't. I don't know. That was boring. And sorry. There's no point to it. Barely has anything to do with what we were talking about.
There's something about a beard, though, that makes you distinguished, or at least have experience,
or look like a homeless, alcoholic. I mean, there are plenty of those guys too.
Yeah, there's a lot of those too. But a beard is like there's a statement with a beard, like a full beard, like yours, white.
Mine is just, I don't like shaving. Like, and again, I do like I only gain weight in two places: stomach and right here. and also I have a kind of a thin frame, so it's really not attractive. It's not attractive.
So the beard sort of.
Trump ran on no regime change.
No more stupid, senseless wars.
No more wars. No more wars.
We're now getting.
It's more laziness. It's I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
And this, I go, I don't know, 6-7 weeks, and then I just shave it. Once it gets out, because my hair doesn't grow down, or it just grows out like a clown. It goes this way, all of it, even this too. And once this starts filling in, it just looks goofy.
Yeah, I have a friend, my friend Hassan. He used to shave his head, and now, purposely to look goofy, he lets the sides go out, and it's madness. It's all fucking crazy thick hair.
And bald on top?
And bald on top, yeah. And he does a joke on stage about it. He's Indian. This is my impression of an Indian pussy.
Well, and is he just, like, not concerned about getting laid, or?
Yeah, I think he's just embracing, but he still gets laid, because he's really funny. I think he just embraces not giving a fuck. There he is.
Oh, he looks familiar to me. Okay.
Very funny guy.
All right, cool.
He's one of the up-and-comers. Well, he's from L.A. originally. He was one of the doormen at the Comedy Store.
Okay, he looks very professorial.
He's very smart. Yeah, but doesn't give a fuck about his hair.
Who's that?
Art Bell.
I was gonna guess Art Bell.
Yeah,
I swear to God.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I don't even know if I've ever seen him.
Yeah,
coast to coast.
Yes.
Holy shit.
From the Kingdom of Nye. I fucking loved that show. That was the show that I listened to coming home from Hollywood because I lived out in the valley, and I would drive home at night. I'd listen to Late Night with Art Bell.
Coast to Coast with Art Bell. I used to do a whole bit about because who's the new guy? George Norrie. George Norrie, right? And I'm gonna digress for 1 second. Did you ever do you play video games at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I try not to, but I used to play a lot of them.
Did you ever play Prey?
No, but I know what it is.
A great underrated game. Got ripped off, or just people bit certain things that they started. But one of the coolest things. So it's about like this. It takes place on a reservation, in the 90s, I guess, or something like that. And there's a bartender and her boyfriend, and it takes place in this bar. And then aliens come, and then this guy goes on the alien ship to go rescue her. But they did this really cool thing. So first they have this in the video game, right at the bar. There's a TV, and as you walk towards it's playing. It's like staticky until you get closer to it, and then as your character gets closer to it, it's Art Bell talking about aliens and stuff. And I know I'm not doing it justice, but it was such a cool, smart idea. And God bless him.
He was the OG.
Yeah, and just some of the one thing that, because I listen to it a lot too, because sometimes, you're listening and you're like, this is insane. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And he would always treat the guest with deference,
Yes.
respect. And I that must have been because there were things that were, if you go back to all the episodes, that were kind of contradictory in a sense, like, wait, you think all these things happen? You think there's a place in the middle of the ocean that has, like, it's a community of people that live there, and then, but you also think this, like, all these different things, it'd be like, interesting.
Yeah, he would let you go.
He'd let you go, yeah.
He'd give some air.
But he was never rude or...
No,
or
never. You'd call him up.
dismissive.
He had a time traveler line where you would call specifically if you were a time traveler.
But if you were calling from the past, they didn't have that technology yet. How
No,
would that
it's
work?
mostly people from the future, I believe.
Wait, like, Art, I'm calling from 7 minutes in the future. Listen.
I think his whole deal was, if you are here in this current era, but you are from another time, you could call. Because, the idea was, like, he would have these remote viewers and oddballs on, and they would talk about that we have had the ability to time travel for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
There are wormholes that exist, and they explain the quantum dynamics involved, and time travel has been breached by the CIA in the 1960s.
Yes.
And you'd have these people call up, but Art would always, like, give them air. Like, let it breathe. Let it breathe. Yeah. Art, I'm a werewolf. Interesting. Tell me more. Like, it didn't matter, no matter what it was. It was a fun show.
I loved it.
The craziest people, from fucking Bigfoot people to alien people.
Everything. And then a lot of people, ex-military, right?
Mhm.
You get that, like...
Whistleblowers.
I was stationed in, outside of a remote island that I can't go into from Singapore, and I witnessed some things, Art, that I still have difficulty believing, and then he just, what happened?
It was great.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
And so, did you also listen to Phil Hendry?
Yes.
Oh, God.
He was the best.
Super genius.
The best thing about Phil Hendry was the people that didn't understand what was going on that would call in and be really upset.
The first 2 times I heard him, I didn't understand what he was doing. He's that good too. And I would be like, this is crazy, this guy. And then eventually you're like, oh, he's doing characters because he repeat characters and stuff. But I got the chance to watch him do a show. So he's got 3 mics, I want to say. Like 2 mics like this, and then a phone mic. or a phone like a old time cradle phone, and he was doing himself, the woman who's runs the HOA or whatever whatever her name was, that character, and then somebody else calling in, like he did somebody calling on the phone, and it was it was like a magic act. It was crazy to watch how without missing a beat, and I could see you can see how he strategically takes breaths so that he can go from one character to another and interrupting each other.
Yeah.
It was fascinating, but he's a genius.
It's the only thing that caught right away. I was like, oh, wait a minute, there's no crosstalk. Like, one of the early times I listened, I was like, I think this is the same guy.
Yeah, well, he bumps it up. Like, he's really good at almost, making it sound as if, like, because he'll interrupt himself and go, but, and stop and then just go right into the other voice. It's fucking phenomenal.
And completely original. Like, I don't know if anybody else did anything like that.
No. Did you ever, he used to put out stuff for charity, like CDs and things, and he has, I don't know what it would be called, but it was one of the things he put out for charity that was a guy called into the station. He was probably super high, but he called in thinking it was Pizza Hut, and he fucks with this guy in the best way, where he's like, and what's the woman character he does? It's kind of like a black woman who's like, honey, it is the best. I don't know, Marjorie, I think maybe. But then he does that woman answering the phone at Pizza Hut, and then he does the automated thing, like she's like, I'm going to put you on. It's easier to do the automated thing. Okay, all right. And then he gets on. He's like, thank you for calling Pizza Hut, the best pizza in a 3-block radius. And if you want, I'm not doing it justice. You got to go do it. Hear it. Listen. Can you? Yep. You got it.
All right.
Okay. It's so brilliant. Wait.
Whichever is the large.
Yes.
Dishpan. You got the dishpan D? Just a regular large thick crust. No.
You want any of them puppy cheese balls, anything like that? We got a special on buffalo wing. We got a special on damn, I forgot the other thing. We got a special on something. What kind of cheese you want? Cheddar, Munster.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have the wrong location here.
All right, hold on.
And he's so
Thank you
beautiful.
for calling Pizza. Your call is being transferred. Please have all credit card information available for our operators.
Yes, Pizza. Hello.
Hi, yes.
Hi.
Hi, which location are you at?
We're at the corner of La Cienega and Venice.
Okay. I'd like to place an order for delivery.
All right, can I put you on hold? We'll put you through our automated system. Hold on, please.
Thank you for calling Pizza. If you'd like cheese pizza, press 1. If you'd like a meatball pizza, press 2. If you'd like sausage, press 3.
Shop the new arrivals by Ashley Lux, where practical prices meet premium style. Like
press 2.
Oh, it goes on and on and on. He eventually gets the guy a fish pizza, and the guy's like, "No, man, I don't want fish." It's really funny, but that's him. That's Phil doing all those voices, and that's not set up. The guy had called into the studio thinking it was pizza, and they're like, "Take this call."
Did you ever meet him?
I did briefly at when I got to see him do his. He did a live show at Aspen Comedy Festival. Long time ago.
I did something with him, Bob Odenkirk, and Doug Stanhope.
Oh, wow.
And Adam Carolla. I don't remember where it was. I want to say it was somewhere in Canada, but it was some sit down. We were talking about the process of going through, because he was in the middle of doing some sort of a television show pilot.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the process of creating a pilot and what it's like trying to get a pilot to an actual finished television show and get it approved and what the struggles are. It was very interesting.
Canadians.
I don't think it was it was like one of those Montreal Comedy Festival things.
Yeah.
You know,
Makes sense.
where they had it was like some weird talk. It was a long time ago. It was like, God, it had to be like 2001 or something like that.
Yeah, I vaguely remember when he was, there was going to be, because he would talk about it, doing this sitcom.
Yeah,
thing.
did it ever happen?
I don't think so. No.
He was a really nice guy, though. Not what I expected at all. I expected him to be fucking insane. Just to be able to do that every night and not get bored with just completely fucking with people every day.
It's got to be exhausting too, like mentally, because you've got to remember. It's like really great improv guys, where you have to remember all these details, bring them back 30 minutes later, right? And you're doing multiple characters. You ever see TJ and Dave?
No.
Oh, dude, the best.
Yeah,
What
is it?
It's TJ Jadagowski and Dave Pasquazi, who were like the kings of that stuff in out of Chicago, and they tour around, and they're two guys who it starts off, it's none of it's planned, none of it's and they have like a dedicated cult following. When they're in New York, it's you got to go to at least 2 shows to see how wildly different it is. I mean, they're 2 guys that come out on stage. Usually there's like 3 chairs, and it'll just start with like, how's it going? Good. Are you in line? No. And you watch it like, oh, they're in line. Where are they in line at? Do they know each other? And then it turns out they're at the DMV, but they're not. It's like a room outside of the DMV, and then they will leave and come back and be somebody else, right? A kid that was mentioned, or a wife, or something, or be in a car, and it all wraps up. It's all a big story, and I've probably seen him 30, 40 times, and I've seen shows that were funnier and more poignant than some plays that have been worked on for years.
And is
better.
it completely improvised?
Completely 100%.
Wow.
Oh, they're. I mean, do you know Tim Meadows?
Yeah.
So Tim was a guest. Sometimes I'll have a third person.
I know who he is. I don't
Yeah.
met him.
So and Tim's been,
SNL.
Yeah, and ensconced in that Second City world for decades. And he said it was the most terrifying thing he's ever done, because they're like genius level detail you have to remember. And then on top of it, if one of them is, I'm a marine biologist or whatever, it slips out, then that person has to know about the real person playing the fake marine biologist has to know enough about marine biology to keep the thing going, and it's just next level.
It's almost time for spring break, so maybe you're headed to the beach, or maybe you're taking the kids on a road trip, or maybe you're just taking some extra time for yourself. No matter what, you deserve a break and a reset, and AG1 can help. AG1 is your daily health drink. Just 1 scoop combines your multivitamin, pre- and probiotics, superfoods, and antioxidants to help support a healthy immune system and digestion. Plus, it travels really well, so you start working it into your routine even when you don't have a routine. Just slip a few travel packs into your luggage and have a nice flight. I've talked about AG1 for a long time, and it's not just me. I know a lot of people enjoy it. It's very easy, it's very convenient, and you deserve to take care of your health. Visit drinkag1.com/Joe Rogan, and for a limited time, get a bottle of omega-3 vitamin D3K2 and an AG1 flavor sampler for free in your welcome kit with your first subscription. That's a $111 value at drinkag1.com/Joe Rogan. Well, I imagine that's like a muscle that you just get really strong.
Yeah.
Like ranters, like Tim Dillon is the best at ranting on a podcast alone. He doesn't have anybody with him. Most of his podcasts are just him ranting.
Yeah.
And I've watched the development of it. I'm like, that's an amazing muscle to develop because you just get accustomed to that kind of scenario, that situation where it's just in your mind just gets used to producing content.
And the old school AM late night radio guys, right? Who don't have people calling in who are like talking about whatever. They got to do it 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
3 hours by themselves.
Yeah, I used to always like to listen. I used to like to listen to those crazy right-wing, angry political talk shows because I didn't know anybody like that. So I was like, what is this guy doing? Like,
well, that was the bulk of the radio. I mean, that's why you have like Art Bell and Phil Hendry, like nice, like okay,
yeah.
Because I got all this. I got Mark Levin and I got what's his name?
Rush Limbaugh.
Rush Limbaugh, yeah. And when you first start listening, or when I first started listening, and I came out to LA from Boston, and people were like, "There's this guy out here who's fucking nuts," and yeah, he never from Boston, and you're like, how much of this stuff does he believe? Does he really believe? And how much has he come to? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And those guys, that was a fascinating thing. And Wally George. Remember Wally George?
I do, but I don't remember much about him. I remember the name. What did Wally George do?
He was the guy who originated what now it's really familiar. Remember Morton Downey Jr.? Mm-hmm. He was a little after.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And he would look 83, and he was. And it was super low budget, like cable access type thing, back when that was a whole thing. And the audience would be hooting and hollering, and he'd have people on. Somebody who, and sometimes I think because it became popular, sort of like with Morton Downey Jr., where people came on to quote unquote fuck with Wally George. Like, I'm gonna pretend to be a furry, and I'm gonna have gauges and you know what I mean, like just the archetype of thing they want to yell at, and I think people started. There were some bullshit people on there, people lying about who they were, but he'd have people on and then kick them off. They would have a time like, "Come on, sit down. What the fuck do you think you're doing?" And everybody would yell at the person. They'd start talking and like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And that was the show. Like, and here's something really crazy. And tell me if this is rumor. Look up your magic computer. Rebecca De Mornay's dad. The actress.
That's
yeah.
Wally George?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Look it up. Casey, right? Jamie? I'm gonna call you Casey.
I forget who Rebecca De Mornay was.
From Risky Business.
Oh, wow. Wow, her dad?
Yeah.
Is Wally George. Wow. Isn't that crazy? Married multiple times. Shocker. Probably potentially 10 times. Had at least 6 children.
Holy shit, look at how many times he was married. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow. Possibly 10.
Possibly 10.
Can you imagine just keep fucking signing up?
I just read literally the other day, Fleetwood Mac guy. Getting married for the 5th time. He's 182. And he's getting, like, what? Stop.
Yeah.
Like,
why do you want to keep doing that? They believe. They really believe this is it.
What?
This is the one.
You have to say those vows and mean it each time.
Right. Or not.
Yeah.
Or just say, this is just a fun thing that I do.
Yeah.
To keep a lady happy.
Yeah, or just have a party, I guess.
Yeah, have a party and pretend that you're normal now.
And you're married?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long you been married?
17 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It'll be 14 in October.
If I get divorced, that's a wrap.
What do you mean?
Like, I'm happily married. I don't want to get divorced. I'm not saying that. But if I ever get divorced, I'm never.
Oh, yeah. Oh, same here. Yeah. Oh, I feel the same. I don't.
Silly. I'm not having any more children.
Yeah.
So if I don't have any children, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
to
it's-
legally be bound to some person. Can't we just hang out?
I am 100% with you. I was never a anti-marriage guy, but I didn't think I would get married because I didn't want to. And then eventually I met somebody who I wanted to marry. you know?
Yeah, it's like you just have to. It has to be, that's the thing. It has to be the right person. Everybody always says that, except Wally George. But the idea of doing it 10 times is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like they're doing a different thing.
I think once you get, I'll give you 3. And let's say one of them was some fishy circumstances. I'll give you 3. Once you get on your, by the time you're going to be on your 4th, 6th, or Rupert Murdoch marriage, like, what is the point? And why does that woman believe you? What does it say about the lady?
Well, what about ladies that do it? I've been here for 6 years, and I know one lady. While I've been here, she's been married twice, married and divorced twice, and now she's on the 3rd guy.
Yeah, I would look. I mean, that says something about the guys, right?
I guess.
Yeah,
or
man,
her.
come on. If you wouldn't ever think, like, you meet somebody, you like them, and then you find out they've been married twice before in 6 years.
Right.
And you were like starting to fall for her. You wouldn't think, wait a minute. What's
You
the
would.
deal?
My feet are killing me.
But they don't have to. Try Dr. Scholl's 24-hour energy insoles with boosting beads that take the pressure off for all-day comfort and energy-boosting support.
Not killing me.
Dr. Scholl's, new life for your feet.
Do that with Acrobat. Grab your docs, your permits, your moves. AI levels up your pitch. Get you in a groove. Drop.
Unless she was hot. Men are dumb. If she's hot and she's sexy and you really like being around her, you're like, who cares? She made mistakes.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I guess you're right. If the sex is that good.
Yeah, if the sex is good, she's hot, and you love being around her, and that's what she wants, and you want to make her happy, like, okay.
I'll say this. You should find out. You should go talk to the other guys and have a sit down and find out why.
Yeah, the problem is some guys, they'll want to mess it up for you, so they'll lie. They might not be accurate.
Well,
they might paint a also, they might have been the fuck up, and they want to blame it on her, and then you'll get a distorted perception of who she is.
But then it's back to her that she's marrying people who are fucked up. I guess the point is that we're both making is don't get married.
Well, it is a weird thing. It's a weird thing to do. Do you have children?
I do.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to do if you don't have children. Not weird like you shouldn't do it, but it's a different thing.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah,
I would say that not that we my wife and I have any real issues, but I would behave myself and stay and work at the marriage because of the kid.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It fucks kids up when people get divorced.
What's your background?
My parents were split up when I was 5, and my mother remarried when I was 7, and has been with my stepdad ever since.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, they have a great relationship. I just saw them this weekend.
And where did you grow up?
Fucking everywhere. I was born in New Jersey. Moved to San Francisco when I was 7. Lived in San Francisco from 7 to 11 in the height of the Vietnam War. In Haight-Ashbury, like hippie town. And then Florida from 11 to 13.
That's the opposite of San Francisco.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's the first time I found out about the N-word. I didn't know what it meant. And I remember I had to ask my mom. Yeah, I had to ask my mom. I never heard it in San Francisco. Never heard it.
Wow.
San Francisco in the 1970s, when I was between 7 and 11, was kind of a wild, amazing time. It was really weird. It was because we were in the middle of like the counterculture movement.
Berkeley, all that stuff.
Yeah, we lived right down the street from Lombard Street, so we were like in the middle of it all. And it's funny because it was during that time that the Vietnam War ended. When when did Vietnam end?
74? I think 74.
Officially April 30, 75.
Okay.
U.S. withdrawal 73.
Yeah, so that was like, how old was I? Whatever. The point is, like, at that time, I remember thinking, thank God they figured out war's bad. We're never going to do this again. I literally had that thought, however old I was.
What a naive child.
Oh, I was like, whew. Because my stepfather had, he didn't get drafted. He got lucky. He just didn't get picked. And I knew a guy, some guy that was a friend of the family that had moved to Canada. Like, fuck this. He took off to Canada, so I was aware of that. Like, oh, people are leaving the country so that they don't have to go to war. Like, this is, because when you're a little kid, everything's fucking scary. Especially if you come from, broken home. And, like,
yeah, and the concept of a draft or conscription, the idea like, oh, you may have to go and you're gonna learn how to shoot a gun and then go shoot strangers, kids. That has got to be terrifying if you're a kid.
No, it was insane. And it was there was also the time where, my stepdad was a hippie, and my parents were hippies. And when
I was going to ask, why did your sorry to interrupt, but why did they move around so much?
My stepfather was a computer programmer initially, and then he wanted to become an architect. So he went to school in San Francisco, and then University of Florida in Gainesville, and then Boston Architectural Center. So we moved to Boston when I was 13. So that was what it was. It was him becoming an architect.
Right.
And so, they didn't like sports. They weren't into anything like that. And then when Muhammad Ali was opposing the Vietnam War, he became this like counterculture hero.
Sure, yeah.
And I remember it was my parents sat down and watched Muhammad Ali versus Leon Spinks because he was trying to win his title back, and they were rooting for Muhammad Ali. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this guy's stance on the Vietnam War has made my parents fans of his to the point where they're going to watch boxing. Like, they never watched boxing. They didn't want to have anything to do with anything violent. They hated it, but they wanted to watch that.
One boxer to watch if you were anti, hitting or boxing or whatever, it was Muhammad Ali. He was a strategist,
He was, but quite honestly, by that stage of his career, he had slowed down considerably.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't.
I remember the Leon Spinks, because
Leon beat him.
Yeah.
And then he beat Leon in the rematch.
Right. This is the rematch, right?
And that was the big one that we were all glued to the TV. But I remember thinking, this is crazy. They're watching boxing because of this guy's position on the Vietnam War.
Have you seen When We Were Kings?
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, he was God, you want to talk about a unique human being. Like a one of one.
Yeah.
She steps in, she drives to the hoop, and boom, it's a monster dunk.
What happens when real patients move curing hepatitis C from their to-do list to their today list?
I was able to move forward without Hep C doing more damage to my body.
Understanding side effects was important to me. I talked to my doctor about Epclusa.
Epclusa treats all types of chronic hepatitis C.
I thought treatment would interrupt my life, but one pill a day was easy.
With a 98% cure rate, Epclusa is one pill once a day for 12 weeks. Epclusa can also be taken during addiction recovery. If you've had hepatitis B, it may flare up and cause serious liver problems during and after treatment. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B, liver or kidney problems, HIV, and all medicines and supplements you take. Taking amiodarone with Epclusa may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Most common side effects include headache and tiredness.
I put Epclusa on my today list. I only wish I'd done it sooner.
Yeah, and outside of Mike Tyson, there was never any kind of figure like that in boxing.
No. I mean, there was minor
Sugar Ray Leonard,
sort of
a little bit, but not
to that extent, because he wasn't a cultural figure.
Right.
Muhammad Ali represented something during the civil rights movement.
Well, and he changed his name to Muhammad Ali.
Right.
you know?
That was a big thing too. People were terrified of Muslims at the time, and still.
I was going to say at the time. Yeah.
But it was a different kind of Muslims. You know, that was.
Well, they were the. You know, the government was really good about portraying every black urban person as like potentially, you know, Muslim Brotherhood, 12 Tribes.
Right.
Those guys, they're still around. The Israelite 12 Tribe.
Oh, those guys.
Yeah. They used to be. They used to hang out. What am I? They used to be in Times Square, like. Preaching.
I hung out with those guys one day. I wrote a piece about it for my website because I was going home. It was when I was living in New York, and I was walking down the street, and there's this guy standing there with like a microphone and a little speaker.
Yeah.
And they would read things from the Bible.
Yep. And
they would translate it, and they had this very bizarre translation. Everybody was black. George Washington was black. Everyone was black. They were explaining to me, you know, with the so-called Jew. They're black Israelites.
Yep.
The so-called Jew was the thing that they always did.
Well, they're Jewish. Yeah, you don't have to say the so-called.
Yeah, it was
part.
very odd.
But there was a 12th tribe of the Israelites that were black that have been, you know, written out of history.
Yeah, that was their thing. Yeah. They also informed that I'm not white. There was a relief. Because I'm Italian. They're like, "Oh, you ain't white?" I was like, "Oh, phew."
Oh, it's like
because they hated white people. So I was just talking to this because I was bored. You know, I was talking to this guy, just having him explain everything to me, and he informed me, "Don't worry, man, you're not white." I was like, "Oh, okay, that's good. That's good to know."
So you can hang out.
I can hang out with you guys. You don't hate me. But it was very odd. Very odd. They were all dressed like superheroes. They all had these crazy like Avenger costumes on.
Yeah, and like jewelry.
Yeah.
Like big.
Yeah, huge
chunky
medallions around their
jewelry.
neck.
Yeah.
Very odd stuff.
There's still, you don't seem like you used to, but they're still out there. You know?
Oh yeah, they're out there.
But I mean, like literally in New York, periphery of Times Square.
Yeah, last time I was in Philadelphia, I saw them. Yeah. They were out there on the street with the microphones.
Yelling.
The whole deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an odd group.
When were you in New York?
I was in New York. I moved to New York in 91. Yeah. So I started stand-up in 88 in Boston, and I got picked up by my manager, who I'm still with, when I was essentially an open micer.
Who was that?
Jeff Sussman.
How do I not know Jeff Sussman?
He handles Kevin James.
Was he a Boston guy?
No, he was a New York guy.
Okay.
So the story was he had, what was his name? Fucking the guy who had all the crazy costumes. He was on the Rodney Dangerfield special. Bob Nelson.
Bob Nelson, yeah.
So he handled Bob Nelson.
The Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, he put the helmet on. Yeah. He had boxing gloves. He did Jiffy Jeff's gym. He had brain damage. He did a bunch of different characters. So Bob, who was a big act, he had an HBO special, the whole deal at the time. He found Jesus, and
where was he?
In his basement, I guess, or something.
Okay.
It was around the neighborhood, somewhere.
Okay.
But he had this guy who was his prayer partner that was going to take over as his manager. And so this was my manager's big client. So he's like, fuck. Like, I gotta go find some other comedians.
Did he just stop doing stand-up?
I don't know. I don't know if he still does it. I don't know. I knew his career. My manager is really good, and he's very smart, and he did a great job guiding Bob. But I think sometimes when people like have like a big religious moment like that, like maybe that becomes more of their life than because he was all in.
Yeah.
He was all in with Christianity, and so my manager said, "Well, I kind of know most of the comics in New York. Let me see if I'm not missing people in Boston." And so he traveled to Boston with a friend of his, the guys at Old Governors, and they came.
Governors was Bob Root, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Out in Long Island.
One of the the rooms that he worked at, yeah. And so they came down to Boston, and I just randomly went up one night at Duck Soup. Remember Duck Soup?
Duck Soup.
Duck Soup it became the Improv after a while. It was
I don't remember that.
Billy Downs and Paul Barkley. I think it was actually Billy split. I think it was Paul's thing. So they
split at that point?
I think. I'm not sure about that. But what it was is it was Paul's idea, I believe. It was a much more high-end room. Like, it was really nice. And it was right across from Nick's. So it was in the below area where the Wiltern is.
Okay.
So you know where the Wiltern is, which is now the big, where Bill Blumenreich does Comedy Connection shows?
The Wilbur, right?
Yeah. Is that it?
The Wilbur.
It's the Okay, I'm thinking the Wiltern's L.A.
Wiltern's L.A.
Right,
But I know what you're talking about.
The Wilbur. Right, you're right. So downstairs, the Wilbur, you'd go down, and it was a really nice room.
Okay.
And I was a limo driver at the time. I was driving limos, and
driving a limo in Boston?
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's what I was doing for a job.
That's fucking hard. I mean, I just mean the literal streets of Boston are tough to navigate with any vehicle, but a limo add an extra half a car to it.
It wasn't that bad. It was mostly airport pickups. Yeah. A lot of it was town cars, picking people up in town cars. But when you drive around a lot, that's when I would come up with my best ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an idea for a joke, and I called. God, I can't remember who the guy was. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. He was a really cool dude who was the manager of the club. And I could call him up and say, hey, can I get a guest spot? And he gave me a guest spot that night. I wasn't even supposed to be on the show. And my manager just happened to be in the room. And if I'd known he was in the room, I probably would have been nervous and I probably would have bombed.
Yeah.
And I had no idea he was there.
Wow.
And then he came up to me afterwards and gave me his card. And he said, can I see you tomorrow? And I said, okay. And then
he just meant for a ride to the airport.
So I did a set at the Connection the next night, and then he asked me to come to New York and audition there. And then, next thing you know, I was living in New York. It was like 3 years later.
Very cool. And then
it was crazy story.
And when did you move out to LA?
94, 93. First came out in 93, and then moved in 94. I came out to 93 for a pilot. I did a pilot on Fox called Hardball with Jim Brewer and a bunch of other people. It was a baseball sitcom on Fox. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And then the only reason why I stayed, I hated LA, but the only reason why I stayed was because I had got an apartment and I had a lease for a year. So I have to stay. And so I stayed for a whole year, and then I got a development deal for NBC. And they were in the middle of this whole development deal, and then they said, we have a pilot that we already filmed, but we're going to fire one of the cast members. We want you to audition for this. And that was News Radio, so I got to watch.
Who did you replace?
Well, fortunately, it was Ray Romano, who's a good friend of mine, was fired during the pilot. And so they replaced him with another guy, and that guy got fired.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it wasn't, I would have felt terrible if it was Ray. But it was Ray being replaced, so I was like, good, fuck that guy. I'll do it for Ray.
Do you remember who the other guy was?
I do not. He was just an actor, some guy. I mean, I never met him. I'm sure he's a nice guy. But luckily for Ray, he goes on and does Everybody Loves Raymond, and becomes huge. And I just stumbled into this fucking show with no acting experience.
That was a fun set. I remember
News Radio was the best.
Because I did it a couple times, and
there are so many reasons to love the play with the Arizona Lottery, like supporting children in foster care.
And this is the scene that really ties.
And also, like, that was not my first, but one of the first experiences I had with multi-camera sitcoms, where you're like, this is literally the easiest job on planet Earth.
Oh, yeah.
It is you have one full day. You have like a full, I think Thursday, right?
Yeah.
And then Friday's like half a day.
Yeah.
Monday, come in, listen to this, read the script, go away.
Yeah, it's the filming day that's the long day.
Yeah.
And it's not that bad. I mean, especially once we got loose. The first season was hard. The first season was 12, 14-hour days because it was like they were trying to figure out what the show was.
Yeah.
But once it got rolling, It was pretty amazing. So I had only been doing stand-up for 6 years. I had done no acting. I had they had made me get an acting coach for a little while in New York, which I think was counterintuitive.
News
for
radio?
the pilot, the Fox pilot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, how's an acting coach going to help you with a sitcom? It's about instinct. It's about.
Well, they were giving me a lot of money. They gave me like $150,000.
I understand why
you have to learn how to act.
Right.
Do you know how to act? I've never acted.
I'm just saying, like,
I know.
To deliver sitcom lines you don't need an acting teacher.
Right.
Now, Joseph, let's limber up the body.
Yeah, you're not Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
You're not doing There Will Be Blood. It was weird because it wasn't anything. I think the reason why it worked out so well is because it was never anything that I wanted. So there was no weight to it. It wasn't like, oh my God, this is it.
Yeah.
I am on a sitcom. I'm acting. It was more like, this is crazy. I can't believe I'm doing this. You know, it was more like, wow, I can't believe I get to do this. But, the real thing for me was to be able to be in LA and go to the Comedy Store. That to me was more huge than, like, when I got passed at the Comedy Store, that to me was like way bigger than being on a sitcom. I was like, holy shit. Like, because at that, like at 6 years in, I was like, is this going to work out? Like, I don't even know this is going to work out.
Well,
like,
it's also not glamorous in any way. That aspect of working there's nothing glamorous about a sitcom. You know what I mean? It's not the thing that when you're not in LA or Hollywood and you're sitting back and you are told about the glamorous lifestyle, the parties and all that stuff. It's literally you're driving to work and you're going to work. You know?
Yeah, but it was glamorous in a sense that you were on television, and that was very weird to me. It was very strange to watch it on TV and like, that is actually me on TV. I had zero aspirations for any acting at all.
Yeah.
It never even occurred to me. When I lived in Fitzsimmons, me and Fitzsimmons used to dream about the day we could pay our bills telling jokes. That was all it was.
I hear you.
It was just like, oh God, I would see guys like DJ Hazard. I remember I went to look at this apartment, and DJ Hazard lived in the same building, and it was this converted schoolhouse, and these loft apartments. They had like a second floor where like the bedroom was, and looked over the living room. I'm like, God, he pays for this with jokes.
Yeah.
This was like the most amazing thing. Like, that's all I wanted. I saw these like Don Gavin and Steve Sweeney. I was like, imagine being able to pay your bills just telling jokes.
Untie my ankles in the morning. For that? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Something. Oh, do you know Fitzsimmons' Paul Barclay story or Bill Downs' The Watch? Bill Downs. It was Bill Downs.
Which one? How's it go?
Oh, I don't. You should get it from him because it's his story. But, and I don't want to. I feel like it's his to tell, but it's fucking great. It's genius.
It's bringing up something in my memory.
So Bill owed everybody money, right? And like he's still, those guys owe me whatever it is at this point, what, $300, $500, and you go there.
Everybody was big guy, remember? I'll pay you soon, big guy.
Oh, the war. And then you remember when Bill adopted the girls?
Yes,
and
Korean girls, right?
And he would use them like as because at a certain point it didn't help to go to the Connection or go to the clubs, and you had to go to their fucking office if you wanted. Nobody's gonna call you back or whatever, and you like, oh, I gotta get on the T and go to their office, and that's the only way I'm gonna get money is if I show up and he's in a good mood, and it's not gonna happen from a phone call. And I'd go there every single time. It's like, dude, I gotta pay my rent, man. I mean, I got nothing, and you owe me, $385. And back then, that was huge. And listen. So I got my kids. One of my kids is sick, and whatever. It was always this fucking excuse. And school he owed Fitzsimmons a chunk of money, like a significant amount, like $1,500, $1,800, like something meaty, you know, especially for back then. And you ask Greg, because I feel like it.
No, tell the story. I'm sure
Really?
Greg's told it to me. No, Greg and I are pretty close.
I
remember it some in my head. I do remember part of it, but I don't know the whole story. I don't remember it.
All right, so Greg was booked at this, some shit club in New Hampshire or whatever, and Downs was going to be there. Bill was going to be there, and he goes there and he goes, "Oh, Bill, I forgot my watch. I don't want to go over. Can I borrow your watch?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." It's like a Rolex, like some fancy watch. And Greg had this all planned out.
Oh, I know the story.
Yeah, and then he had like parked in a specific place, and then he gets he's like, "All right, thanks," and he's like, "All right, take it back, yeah," and he does his set, and then he bolts out the back door, gets in his car, drives up back to Boston, and then Bill calls him, "Hey, so I think you forgot to give me my watch back," and Greg just basically goes, "Yeah, you want it back? Give me the $1,800 you owe me," and then met him at a restaurant or a diner somewhere in a public place. "Give me the cash, and I'll give you your watch." And it was just genius.
Yeah, that's Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah, those days were fun. Nick's Comedy Stop used to offer to pay you in cocaine or cash.
So I did Nick's, and I've said this multiple times. I'm extremely lucky to be in Boston when I was in Boston.
Yeah.
Because comedy boom's going on, and outside of three places, I just didn't do that well. And they certainly didn't do well with Knicks. I mean, I was the opposite. It had the big feeling of high school where you're the weirdo and people want to fuck with you and throw you in the trash can. And so I got lucky because there were just spots. They just needed bodies. So I worked all the time. Not great gigs, but it was all cash, under the table, and they just needed bodies to go up and do 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, at some cowboy bar in Pittsburgh or whatever, Fitchburg. Anyway, so I get a week at Nick's, and I am not doing it at all. I think I'm opening up for Kevin Knox, so not my crap, and I didn't have the tracksuit. And Knoxie's up there doing, "Hey, you know why? It's the '86 World Series because he heard it had AIDS on it." Okay, all right, yeah, that's a real joke. That's a real joke, and they loved it. More wonderful. Yes, of course it had AIDS on it.
1986.
Oh yeah. And then, do you remember this? What does AIDS stand for?
No. What?
Adios, infected dick sucker.
Oh, I do remember that. I'm
opening for him.
Oh my god.
And it's his crowd. And
Adios, infected dick sucker. Oh my god.
Yeah. So, I titled one of the tracks on my first album, first or second album, "What If Baseballs Had AIDS on Them?" And I'm fucking eating it, right? So they're peeling back my time as the week goes on, and if I had done even okay, I wouldn't have had this feeling. They're already kind of intimidating, right? Super mobby, yeah.
Very mob.
And do you remember where you walk into Nick's, and there's like the podium, and then a little behind it is this little room with a curtain, right? And it's not big at all. And I went to go get paid. The week was over, and I'm just eating it, eat shit every single night, every single show. And and they're all eating. It's like a scene from like they're all eating like manicotti. Just you couldn't make it any better with the fucking napkins in their their shirt like this, and I go, hey, nervous as shit. Just hey, so Dom, I need to if I can get paid, I just for the whatever. And Dominic goes to whoever, I can't remember the guy's name, his kind of lackey there. And he goes, whatever his name was, Paulie, go pay the kid. And I've interrupted his dinner. He's not happy. We go up to the offices upstairs, and there's a safe, and it's open, and there's cash, and there's a gun. Just open, right? And he gets the money and he gives it to me, and I just pick it up. I want to get the fuck out of there, and I pick it up, and he's like, "Are you gonna count it?" No, I'm good. I trust you. And I just bolted. I never went back there again. But I was so fucking intimidated, and
that was an intimidating place.
Oh, dude, the whole thing about it. The Dominic, all those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone's doing blow and. The performers are at least,
It was a maniacal time where all those guys, there was one time where Nick's was running 3 consecutive shows. So they had their main room upstairs. There was a dance club down in the bottom. And there was one other room somewhere in that building. And guys would go, guys like Don Gavin, Steve Sweeney, they would go and do a set. And these guys were just raking in money.
Oh, yeah.
And constantly doing blow.
No,
and not paying their taxes.
Yeah, yes.
And that's what got them all.
Yeah. Back in the heyday, and it went on for years. It was years and years of this. I mean, you could go down, 128 and do Kowloon's or whatever, and then just hop all the way back. Mm-hmm. Hop into these Chinese restaurants or whatever.
Right, Giggles and Saugus.
Yeah, and just go in a straight line and go back and forth and do 9 fucking shows. And make a shit ton of money, cash under the table, tons of blow.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It was a wild place because there were so many comics, and it was such a... Boston's not a big city. And to have so much comedy all come out. You've seen Fran Solomita's documentary?
I haven't. I got to.
It's really great.
Stand-up stood out?
Yeah, it's really...
I got it.
It's really great. It's really great. And it goes all the way back to Crimmins and the Ding Ho. Mm-hmm. And I started in '88, so the Ding Ho was going on. And, you heard legendary stories from the Ding Ho.
Did you see Call Me Maybe? Oh, you got to see that. It's Bobcat's documentary about Barry.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I did see that.
It's fucking great.
Right. I did see that.
It's really well done. I don't mean just... Like, even if you don't know Barry, just the story and the way he lays out the path of the film it's great.
I had Barry on, right after it came out. I had him on the podcast. Yeah.
And he's a legend and, huge inspiration.
He was an intimidating guy.
Yeah.
That was the guy that I was scared of. Because he was the guy who was sort of the standard. He made sure there was no hacks. He made sure there was, he set the standard.
He was really equitable.
Yes.
Very politically active.
Even way back then, really knowledgeable, really understood what was going on in the world.
Did you ever see his one of his State of the Union shows?
No.
They were fucking amazing. So he would go a couple of them at the Stitches, and he would go up, and it was just when the State of the Union was happening. He'd go up and he'd do his State of the Union, just him. And he would go on, and he'd have it was pre-PowerPoint, but it was whatever the equivalent of, a screen behind him and stuff. And he'd go up there with a cooler, like a legit big cooler of beer, because that motherfucker could drink.
Yeah.
And he would just start. He had a podium, and he would just crack beers and just eat down a case of beer or half a case of beer and just do his stuff. extemporaneous stuff. I mean, stuff prepared, but about the State of the Union and all that. It would always be packed. Like, and you'd see Dennis Leary and every single comic would be there, trying up against the wall because it was packed. But it was great. I mean, legendary.
Well, I think he was really responsible for a lot of what Boston comedy became. Because he was the guy that was kind of the gold standard.
And he started the Ding Ho.
Yeah. And it's like becoming friends with him was like, phew, like such a relief because I was terrified of him.
Yeah.
When I was a young comic, like if that guy thought I sucked and he hated me, I was like, I'm fucking doomed.
Yeah.
Because he was this character. He would go on stage with a sport coat on and reach into his inner pocket and pull out a Budweiser for every show. Remember that?
I don't, but I know he drank a lot.
Yeah, but he would bring his own beer. It was part of his thing. Yeah. He would go on stage, just reach into his, pull out a Budweiser and set it down on the stool. He only drink American beer.
Is that true?
Yeah, he would drink Budweiser.
I don't know why that is.
I don't know. He's like kind of a patriot.
He doesn't seem like he would, the kind of guy who would have denied himself.
Well, maybe it was performative. I don't know. Was there Modelo even? Did it exist at the time?
But yeah, he was the only guy, I would say, that, and to your point, like all these other legendary comics, Lenny Clark, Don Gavin, Steve Steve, all those guys, was the only guy that those guys were kind of walking on eggshells.
Yes.
The only guy.
Yes, the only guy.
They'd give all each other shit.
Yep.
And mean shit too. Like,
yeah. They would fight.
Oh yeah. Barry was the one guy that would fuck with.
Well, he was different than all of them, and then he was incredibly well-read. Like, really well-read, really knowledgeable about all sorts of ways of our society. But really funny fucking comic, too. Like, great jokes, great writer, and it's just like, he was the standard. He was the glue that held that scene together. Because they all looked at him to be like you can't kind of step out of line. Like, you don't want to catch Barry's arm.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And then when the revelation he had of being abused as a kid, and then he spoke in front of Congress. He did about
AOL.
AOL.
Yeah, that was during the early days of AOL. For people that don't know, they had all these chat rooms, and sexual predators were using these chat rooms to find children.
Yeah.
And also to exchange pornographic material.
Yeah, and that becomes a big part of Call Me Lucky, and yeah, he dedicated his life basically to just going out and catching these motherfuckers. And helping, the people who would pose as kids and stuff, and that was his. And he was also, lapsed Catholic, and when all especially in Boston, the Catholic Church, and the diocese, and all that stuff was coming out, that was his fucking getting these fuckers caught.
Yeah. But I think it took someone like him that was levels above most of the other comedians in terms of his understanding of the world and his ability to articulate it, and also a great comic. So that people looked at him like, well, this guy's he's clearly smarter than all of us. Is also super dedicated to the craft of comedy, meant a lot to me. The integrity of comedy, what it is to be a comic.
And he came from, and I think this is kind of specific to Boston too. He came from a jock. He was a minor league or whatever, sub-minor league catcher. He played. He was at Syracuse University, and he played for Cape Cod League, and the things that eventually you get to minor leagues, hopefully. And he came from that hard drinking, and catcher is arguably the smartest guy in the baseball team, right?
Right. He's the guy making the calls, for the pitches,
seeing everything, defensive lineup.
Yeah.
So he came from that world too, which I think helped his cred.
Yeah. Well, it's just such an unusual town in what happened there that these guys became these local legends where they never had to leave. And they kind of did the same act for decades, which is also amazing.
That, to me, was like, I knew there was definitely as I started to separate from that world a little bit and just kind of evolving as a comedian, and there was like the Catch scene and Catch a Rising Star, and that was a thing that was an early. I just didn't get it. Like, why are you doing the same? There's no joy in it. And then you would drive some of these guys because they'd get fucked up, and you were happy to have all the work, and you'd go up and do 15, and they'd do a half hour, you'd get in the car, you'd go somewhere else. And these guys here, my God, he would do his, remember Rosie, the bounty, the quicker picker-upper, the bounty?
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a, so the commercials were like Rosie, and it was like the scrappy waitress at a diner. Remember, it was like a character that was in all the. It was like the mascot or whatever, bounty, quicker picker upper, and her character was kind of like feisty. Commercials ran for years. He was different. Like, you don't do this, do this, and his bit was about taking a gun out and shooting her. And it was funny. You'd see it the first time, and it's like, that hasn't been on the air in fucking 10 years. And he's still doing this. Yeah, Rosie, I got something for you. I got some advice for you. Shoot. Like, what the fuck? And there was, okay, wait, Joe. Were you there? So, Ed, the Machine Regime.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I remember him.
So
he wear the suit?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and his headshot was 4 different. His headshot was like 4 squares, and then
different characters.
Yep, Tina Turner.
Right.
And guy, the like mob guy. I can't remember the rest of them. And then whatever.
I think he had a turban in one of them.
I'm sure he did. So he goes to jail for rolling back
odometers.
Yes.
That's
so he gets caught, and he was car salesman, I think, in Rhode Island, I believe, and he got caught rolling back the odometers. He goes to jail for a year and a half, and I was shooting this movie. This is decades later. I was shooting this movie, and it was on a cruise ship, and the cruise ship, Ed, the Machine Regime, is the headliner at the comedy venue on the cruise ship. And I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy. I haven't seen this guy in forever. He's back doing comedy? Okay. And I go there, and he does, I don't know, 40 minutes. The same fucking act from 15 years ago. It's like, you don't have one? You spent 18 months in prison, you don't have one joke? You have one motherfucking observation. Even if you lie and say, it'd be weird if you were in prison and whatever. You don't have anything?
It's weird.
We really needed that power slide.
That would have broken the bank. Let's see your Firefly can help.
Boom. That's fire. Can I try? Higher smoke. Hit the garbage. The sun, the sky, golden power. Okay.
It was a weird thing, and it only existed with them.
Yeah,
most comics in the country were writing new material all the time.
It was. I remember that feeling of I must be different because I'm not. That is such a distasteful thing.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to do that.
Well, there was 2. I saw 2 traps there. One of them was that, and the other one was never leaving.
Yeah.
They never left Boston. And when they did leave Boston, they had so much local material that their act was like cut down by like 40%.
And there were a lot of people, their peers, who would give him shit. Like, and it was all just kind of resentful, jealousy, which is a Boston thing too. That you think you're so hot now that you're hot shot. You get some. You go to Hollywood. You go there. Yeah. Fuck you. This is it was a real provincial working class kind of attitude. But they look down on. They would give Leary shit all the time, like sellout, just bullshit, weird.
Sellout's a weird one because they would all sold out. It just wasn't available. Well, they were all mad at Stephen Wright. But yeah. Because Stephen Wright was like this.
How can you get mad at Stephen Wright?
Well, not mad at him, but bitter because of his success.
Oh,
because he went and left. Yeah. He went and left the Tonight Show.
Right.
Became huge, so unusual, so different. And they came to Boston. The Tonight Show came to Boston to look for comics, and Stephen Wright was the one they chose. And all these other guys were like, he's a fucking middle act. Like, this is bullshit. Like, that guy bombs half the time. Because his act to me was a lot like Hedberg. In that if you didn't know what he was doing and you came to see specific like if Hedberg, there's a famous story of Hedberg was on the road in Ohio and they had this guy who was an opening act who do like backflips and fucking sing rap songs. It was a disaster, and Hedberg kept bombing, and so they switched them and made Hedberg the middle act and tried to fuck him on the money, and Stanhope got into it with the owner of the club. It became a big thing. But once Hedberg got an audience, then people knew what they were coming to see, and then it was amazing. People wanted to see that. That was kind of the same with Stephen Wright. Like, if you're on a show with Steve Sweeney and Lenny Clark and all these big energy fucking Boston guys, and then, I used to work at a fire hydrant factory, couldn't park anywhere near the place. It just, for whatever reason,
Well, it's also that other comedy is, and I'm not taking anything away from those guys, and the bits were great, but that other comedy is really easier. It's just Stephen Wright, you got to think about it.
Right. It was abstract. It was low key. It was all non sequiturs. It was one to another. And so when he left and took off, a lot of guys apparently were like, "This is fucking bullshit. Like, when's my turn gonna happen?"
Yeah, I can see that easily.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so. I mean, no other scene had that kind of weird provincial, and that thing, like you said, they wouldn't leave.
No, they never left. Well, they were huge there, so if they lived there, they could make like a couple $100,000 a year. Just running around and cash. Yeah, and not ever have to worry about anything. And they played golf all day. So there's two things that scared me. Because I saw that when you play golf, you kind of stop trying with your comedy.
It's a slippery slope.
It's a
gateway
drug. Well, you're out there for fucking 8 hours a day. Like Noxie was always playing golf. And then the other thing was like, if you never left, you had no chance of developing like a national audience where you could go to a club in Philadelphia. You can go to a club. They couldn't do the road. And I remember thinking, oh, this is a trap.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and as you said, half of their stand-up was like, you'd have to know about, Storrow Drive or fucking
Johnny Most.
Johnny Most.
Yeah, remember Donovan's bit about Johnny Most was amazing. But he was doing that bit long after Johnny Most was dead. So like 20 people in the audience would be howling, laughing, and everybody else would be like, who the fuck is Johnny Most? Yeah. It was weird because it was like a velvet prison. It was like how I described like really great comics that get jobs in the writer's room, and I'm like, you got to be careful. Like that's a velvet prison. Because if you get stuck in that writer's room, you go on the road, you never put out specials, you're never going to get an audience. You're always going to be beholden to an employer. You're always going to have a job. And there's great comics that got trapped with that.
But wouldn't you say that if they, yes, it's a trap, but if they didn't have the wherewithal or foresight or willpower to get out of that trap, then they probably weren't meant to do that thing.
Perhaps, but sometimes they get a mortgage, and then they get a family, and then they're stuck.
That's the trap.
Yeah.
Fucking family. Let's call it for what it is.
Yeah.
The trap.
And well, in a lot of ways, it can be if you're trying to be an actual national level. Like, do you know Owen Smith? In LA, one of the top 20 best comics on earth. He's fucking brilliant. He's so fun.
Owen Smith.
Owen Smith. Okay. Saw him at the Comedy Store. And I remember the first time I saw him at the Comedy Store, I'm like, how is this guy not fucking huge? He's so funny. He's so good. He's like, he has this bit about adopting a white kid and naming him the N-word. It's just like it's a really funny, well-crafted bit. And all of his bits are like brilliantly written. He's a great performer. He's super likable. Got writers gigs and just he does the Mothership a couple times a year, I believe, at least once a year. But just doesn't get out there.
Who does he write or what?
I think he's a showrunner now.
Oh, well,
yeah. So it took it to another level.
Yes.
But just got jobs writing when he was struggling with the comic, and those jobs eventually led to House.
It's like you watch him and you love him, right? Because you see a lot of stand-up and you're like, a lot of shit. And this guy's fucking great writer. But maybe he doesn't see it that way, and he's quite happy to.
I think he does. He does see it that way. We talked to him about it. Yeah, he kind of knows. Just doesn't know what to do now. Because he's
a showrunner. You're
making money.
Yeah, and there's a lot of responsibility.
There's also not a lot of shows anymore.
Yeah,
which is it's a real problem.
It's a real problem.
Banked on being a showrunner in the '90s, threw your hat into. Thing seems to have dwindled to like 20% of what it used to be.
I used to be quite happy with the idea that I knew pitching shows and stuff and trying to develop things, and you go, let's not waste our time going to these 5 places. This is not a show for them. This is a show for these 3 places. This is this kind of show. Now I have no fucking clue. I come up with, like, Bob and I pitched a show, pitch. There were like 4, I think we pitched it at 8 places. 4 of them kind of bid. We took and then wrote it was a limited series, 8 episodes. Wrote the first 4, and it was Bob and his brother Bill, who's a big Simpsons guy, and it was good. And then they said, the quote was, marketing and analytics couldn't figure it out what to do with the show. And so they didn't, and we had 4 episodes that you could look at, and then we had the Bible for the next 4, and the outlines and everything was fucking funny. On the page it was funny. Then we're like, so here's the cast. We're gonna have these amazing people, and Bob and I, different cult leaders, and that's such a rare thing when it starts off on the page funny, and by the time you get a great cast, you get on set, you're like, what if we do this? And then you get into the post and start playing around with it. I mean, it was a really cool thing, and marketing and analytics, that's what you're doing.
Well, I mean, that has kind of always at least been the case.
I mean, they would have to say, analytics is technical. I mean, marketing, I don't know how to help you, man. I can give you some advice. I think that's a shitty way to market it, but you know that world, and but analytics is about the algorithm and all that shit.
Is this recent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right after, shortly after COVID.
It's amazing how many incredibly intelligent people are responsible for putting out shows. The people that you communicate with, the executives, this has got to be a mistake. Like, how did you get this job? And I experienced that early on, like at the first pilot that I was on.
Positive affirmations help keep me grounded on and off the pitch. I am successful. I am talented. I am strong. I'm healing all areas of my life. You're mine.
The first pilot was on Hardball. The pilot was actually very funny because it was written by Jeff Martin and Kevin Curran. They were from The Simpsons, and they also wrote on Married with Children. Great guys, but they were writers. They were like these like quiet, kind of soft-spoken guys, and you know they ran the pilot, and then they brought in a showrunner from Coach. Remember that show, Coach? Yeah. And this guy just fucked the whole show and turned it into this like da-da-dum, da-da-dum. It was like this clunky, bad joke, like really
it was happens more than you'd think.
And the people behind the scenes, like the executives, it was astonishing how little of them had any creative ideas. It was they were just hoping that it would work. And ego. It's like ego and I'm an executive, so I'll tell you what's good and what's not good, and we understand this. We're Fox. And I was like, this is nuts. Like this is how it works behind the scene. I thought you'd get behind the scene and be all these fucking geniuses that had put together all these television shows. They had an understanding of like how let people be creative and put a show together and let it fucking run out the runs, like when you're running through the script, like
thought the war was everybody learned.
Same thing. Finally, they're gonna figure it out. Yeah, I'm very naive. But I naively stumbled into that exact right thing with News Radio. Right. So when I got onto News Radio,
which I would say some of those execs that you're describing, they probably stumbled into.
Yes.
The success of it.
Well, you know, Paul Sims, who is brilliant, was coming from the Larry Sanders Show.
Yep.
So Larry Sanders Show, huge success, genius show. And so they knew this guy was special. And a super smart guy, like funny, and had a great group of writers, and put together a great pilot, and then, you know, recast the one role that I came in for. And so I'm there on this set, and it was like, you know, it took long hours to figure it out, but they let everybody do whatever they wanted to do. Like, Paul's approach was so different than anybody else. Like, Dave Foley was like the secret producer of like half of that show. Half of the way the scenes were put together, half of the jokes that were in it was all Dave Foley on set, running through the script with the cast, coming up with better ideas.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They let you do anything. Like, sometimes they'd say, can we see it as written? And then you'd give it to them as written, and they'd be like, I like your idea better. Like, Paul was fucking amazing with that.
Yeah.
And so once I did that, I was like, I think I'm done with this, because I don't think it's ever going to be any better than this.
It's
like,
rare, man.
Yeah, it was super rare. I auditioned for like one or two other ones that were terrible just because I wanted money, you know, and I'm like, maybe it'll be okay. But hell is being on a sitcom that's terrible that's successful. That sounds dumb to people. Like, no, what the fuck, you're gonna,
totally know what you mean.
You're on TV making $50,000 a week or whatever you're making. Like, poor you. But no, you're in hell because you're doing something that sucks, and you have to show up every day doing this thing when you know you could have been on Seinfeld, or if you just got cast on Friends.
That's a trap too, you know. Is like the people who, you know, because it really is like a job, and you and you have a nice car. You're getting, you know, you're in Studio City, and you get your car and you drive to this job, and it's kind of shitty and sucks, but there's amenities, great craft services. This guy makes fucking cappuccinos right there, you know, and then you go and have dinner with somebody fancy somewhere. And then you just get up and do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, and you keep buying things because that's how you reward yourself. You buy a new television. This one's even bigger. You know, you buy a new car. I got the new car. You know, and that's what you're doing to reward yourself for doing this job that sucks.
What? I get that too. I mean, I will, on a much smaller scale, but when I make a good payday, I'll buy some expensive boxes of baseball cards.
Oh, you're a baseball card collector? That's the thing? Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But have been going back. It's not like like I feel like I have legit,
baseball street cred.
Yes. Yeah. But that's the thing. And also it's. I mean, the argument can be made. It's an investment, a shitty investment.
Yeah.
But an investment nonetheless. But it's also like gambling because it's like a scratch-off ticket because everybody's chasing the one-of-one cards and you're opening packs and stuff.
Oh, that's how you do it? You buy packs unopened?
I buy boxes. Yeah. So I buy a hobby box, which has it's more expensive. It has a better chance. Well, that is more like an auto.
Well, that isn't it. You don't sell them. People always want them.
Yes. I just mean since I started, 30 years ago? Yeah, 30. Like in the 90s, early 90s. Maybe. 80. So, whatever money I put in there's nowhere near. If I sold everything, I mean, we're talking about half the money. But I have them, and I like them.
But it's fun.
So
that's your reward. That's what you
my
collect.
reward.
Yeah. My thing was, in my poverty days, it was comic books. So, one of my...
Which is also an investment.
Yeah, well, it became one eventually. But when during my poverty days, my biggest, saddest moment was when I had to sell my comic books because I had no money.
Yeah.
I had no money, and I had these old Spider-Mans and these old Incredible Hulks. Yeah.
Which were probably now worth.
Oh my God, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars. I had some really good ones in the plastic sleeve.
Yeah.
I'd keep them in the
Mylar.
sleeve. Be very careful pulling them out, opening them up. I love comic books. And I had collected them since I was a child.
Oh, that's awesome.
I wanted to be a comic book illustrator. That's what I.
Is that your thing?
Yeah, that's what I did when I was a kid.
Is any of that stuff yours?
No, none of that stuff is mine. All the artwork.
But you do.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, I haven't in a long time, but I was really.
But you could still do that.
Yeah, I can still draw. I can still draw a little, but it's like.
But if you want to do your own comic.
Yeah.
You could do that.
I would have to start practicing again and but when I was a teenager, I was really good. And that was what I wanted to do, but I had a really terrible art teacher in high school. He was just a miserable guy. Just miserable. And he was like, you're not going to get that job. Like, I'm like, what? Like, you can't just draw what you want. I'm like, why not?
It's like a Dan Close thing. Have you read Art School Confidential?
No.
Oh, you know Dan Close, right?
I know he is.
Yeah. His stuff is fucking genius, too. I've used that word too many times.
That's okay. There's a lot of geniuses out there.
There aren't that many.
There's enough. I want to be, if you search around.
I want to be judicious with it. But, yeah, he's the guy who did 8 Ball. And then he did Ghost World, turned into a movie, and then there was another one that was Wilson that was turned into a movie. His stuff is great, but he has a thing about art, shitty teachers, art school teachers. Story.
Well, I quit on my last year in high school. I stopped doing art just because my teacher was so bad. And then there was this one guy in my class that I recently reconnected with, this guy John DeVore, who was the best artist in the class. It was me, this guy Kevin, and John, and we were the best artists in the class. I was probably like third best. John was the best. And John got an F his last year from this guy. And I'm like, he gave you a fucking F? He's like, that guy was such a cunt. We were going back and forth in emails.
Was it about purity, or what was the...
No, he was terrible. He wasn't a good artist. He was...
But
he was just miserable. He was miserable. He was like this thin man with a big pot belly, so I think he just drank himself to sleep every night. And he was just sad.
Easy. Hey, you're getting too close.
He was just sad. He was just a sad guy.
But what was his justification for saying this isn't any good, or you get an F?
If I had to be honest, I think he hated potential.
Right.
Yeah, because he hated John. He hated John. Like, John was genius. He was brilliant. And John wound up not being an artist either.
Think of how many examples of that.
Yeah.
Where kids' talent or dreams their aspirations are kind of crushed,
Mhm.
and eat to the point of like, it's not worth it.
No.
I don't want to deal with this.
Well, it's like bad teachers. Bad teachers can really ruin your life, and good teachers can change your life.
Yeah.
You know, I had a teacher in middle school that gave me one thought that has been that stuck with me like my whole life. When I guess I was like 13, and he was a science teacher. And he was talking about space. He was just saying, I just want you to sit here and comprehend it when we're in this classroom. I want you to comprehend the concept of infinity, that the universe is infinite, that there is no end. Just hurt your head, lie in bed at night, and think about how it goes on, and there's no ending to it.
Yeah.
And we were all in class like 13 going, what the fuck, man? I mean, it was the way he said it. I'm not doing it justice, because he was like kind of a spooky guy who went to Vietnam. He was like grizzled fucking dude who's like, but brilliant. And that guy, like that one thought, I carry with me all the time.
Especially at 13 too.
Yeah.
You know, it's because you're about to start losing sight of the importance that those concepts will have.
Yeah.
And we just dismiss them and go, yeah, it's big, whatever.
Yeah, this guy birthed my fascination with space at 13. I don't
really
think I was
think of
even
that.
interested in space before then.
Yeah.
And then I became absolutely fascinated by it. I just couldn't get my hands on books about cosmology and space travel.
Yeah.
But this guy that was his art teacher was just, I think life didn't turn out the way he wanted it to. And he wanted to squash the hopes and dreams of talented people.
Yeah, I think that's...
Unfortunately, that's a real thing.
Yeah, it's
Now at Whataburger, you can get the new Big Ranch Wrap for $3, 5 premium water chicken bites for $4, or bacon cheese Whataburger Jr. for $5. Add fries and a drink for $1. At What Up Burger. Download the app.
You've got ideas, a new project, a renovation that's been waiting. Bauer gives you the tools you need to build, fix, and upgrade at prices that deliver more for your dollar. Bauer, heavy duty guaranteed.
more common than you might hope for. Yeah, I think that's a very real, very real thing, unfortunately.
So that was my dream. My dream was to be a comic book illustrator. So when I was a young kid, from the time I was like 6 or 7, when I lived in San Francisco, I would collect all these different comic books. That was what I would do. I would just
And
go.
that San Francisco was the counterculture comic. It was like the big Art Crumb.
Art Crumb, yeah.
But there was like a publisher, right? That's famous.
Yeah, God,
I'm
I
thinking
don't.
of?
Yeah, I do know what you're thinking of. I can't remember the name of it, but I was really interested. I really loved like the old creepy and eerie comic books too.
Do you know what my
those?
grandma did? Oh, it's gonna hurt your feelings. My uncle, who eventually went insane, was a huge DC Comics, right? Early, I don't know where, but all the really bad magazine stuff. He had this collection, and I was probably 8, maybe, and I expressed interest in these. Can I? Not thinking in terms of investment, just can I have them? I like them, and I would sit and read them. They're really cool and they're creepy, and they're scary. Some of them are scary, and she, I think she just threw them away. Like original, and I'm gonna guess. I don't know, but I'm gonna guess like $250,000 worth. Threw them away. They're just comics.
They were so good. I loved those old black and white, like really illustrated.
Super creepy, weird science, Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror. Yeah,
God,
look at
those were great.
Look at that.
Yeah, some of them were really gory.
Yeah.
Oh, I
The
love
Crypt
those.
Keeper.
Yeah.
Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, that stuff was like.
Oh,
remember seeing Twilight Zone when you were a kid? Just
Sure.
blowing your mind.
You think about the early Twilight Zone, how many premises they went over. Like how many different brilliant premises they had in the early Twilight Zone.
That have been, stolen completely.
Oh yeah, over and over and over again. Yeah, but just like so genius and creative.
Yeah.
The William Shatner one when he's in China and the little machine that is giving them fortunes. They all turn out to be true.
I don't remember that.
Oh my God, there were so many good ones. How about the Burgess Meredith one where he just wants to be alone with books?
Yeah.
And there's a nuclear bomb and he's like fine, and then he breaks his glasses.
Yeah. Yep. And the what is it called? Situation on Main Street or something like that, where it's so genius and ahead of its time, where there's it's a suburban street and the lights go out or something goes out, and then eventually all the neighbors are at each other's throats accusing each other of this thing, and then they're all like, and then they start getting guns, and at the very end, watching the whole thing unfold, and then at the very end, here it is.
Monsters are due on Maple Street.
The monsters are due on Maple Street. Yeah, and so they're talking about these monsters that are, and who are the monsters, and they all become suspicious. Yeah, the lights are out, and eventually you pull away from this whole thing, and it's two aliens in a flying saucer, and there it is, and they're going, this is how we'll take over. It's street by street by street, and this is how we'll do it. You don't have to go in there guns a-blazing, they'll kill themselves. And it's like, how far ahead of time was that?
It's genius.
And the
Divide and Conquer.
And the To Serve Mankind.
That was a great one. Yeah, it's a cookbook. Yeah. There's so many amazing premises. There was like no duds. If you go back and watch the Twilight Zone even today, like it's all brilliant.
There's one I remember that was a dud. That I remember. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's either really, really, really cold, and there's this poor family in a New York City, and they can't get heat, or it's really, really hot and they can't get cold, and they're dealing with people who are like, in the family who are really sick, and then the twist was, it's like, it's really somebody who has a fever, and they're not. It just wasn't that good.
Well, they're allowed one dud.
Yes. That's the one.
I don't think I ever saw that one, but I remember so many of them were so creative.
Oh, amazing.
It's kind of nuts if you think about it, because it was completely original. Nothing like that existed before.
Yep.
And they...
Practical prices meet premium style, like plush boucle upholstery, warm French oak, and high-quality leather made for the spaces you live in most. Shop Ashley Lux in-store and online.
Your perfect domain is out there. Go to Wix and make it yours. Claim your space online. Own your name, your brand, your breakthrough. And the rest just clicks. It all starts with a domain. What's yours?
It was like this open field that was rich with premises, and they just took all the good ones.
Yeah.
And then everybody afterwards, it's like South Park always just jokes about like Simpsons already covered something. Like they always joke around about like how the Simpsons have kind of covered so many premises because they've been around since The Simpsons was when I was in fucking high school.
Yeah, it's like 30 years, right?
At least more than that. When did the Simpsons first come on?
It was Tracy Ullman show. Remember that?
What year was that? 86. So it was right after I got out of high school.
I was a tiny kid, and I had only called them the family, so I kind of remember that.
86.
So I graduated in 85, so it was right after high school. And The Simpsons are still on the air.
Yeah.
Nuts.
No, do you remember
87?
Do you remember the Twilight Zone where there's the real pompous guy and there's like a men's club kind of thing, whatever, and there's this real loudmouth pompous guy, and this other guy's like, would you shut up? I bet you can't go. I bet you can't stop talking for a year or whatever, a month. I can't remember what it is. And the guy's like, absolutely. So I'll bet you $100,000 you can't go 1 month without talking. He's like, I'll take that bet. And they basically create like this little kind of cage in this men's club, and he spends a month when he's not talking. And then it turns out the guy can't pay him. He didn't have the money to begin with to pay off the bet because the guy goes the full month or year or whatever. And it turns out that the guy who made that bet, who was not going to talk for a year, also desperately needed the money and had his tongue cut out.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I think of these things as kids.
Yeah.
And of course the cornfield, they'll banish you to the cornfield.
Yeah. It's just amazing that, well, if you stop and think about how new television was back then. I mean, television was only a couple decades old back then.
Not barely, yeah.
If that. Like, what year was the Twilight Zone? What was the premiere?
I guess.
Yeah, yeah. 67.
No.
Earlier?
I'm gonna say 59.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I got it exact.
Damn, son.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Wow. So if you think about it, television, when did it start? What was like the first television program? Was it the 30s?
I think it was Real Housewives of Yonkers? I think it was Real Housewives of Yonkers.
Imagine if they could watch some of these reality shows today. They'd be like, what the fuck did we do?
Yes, I think so. Wait, Andy Cohen? What? Who? Why? How?
What is this?
Wasn't it like the where they would do plays? What, you know what I mean? Like
Well, I Love Lucy was on. It was on and done before this even started.
Well, the Honeymooners, right?
Yeah.
That would have been.
What year was that?
It was 51 to 57. It was one of the shows that were on before.
Yeah,
I just asked.
Honeymooners was huge.
Alfred Hitchcock Presents was on before that.
So what was the first television show ever? 1920s.
No.
The Queen's Messenger.
BBC. Early U.S. Crap television theater. That's what I was thinking of. Where they would do plays, and it was sponsored. Yeah.
Live drama anthology, usually treated as a start of the golden age of television. Howdy Doody. 1947, right after the war.
Ed Sullivan.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the first. Your show shows. Wow, how about that?
1950.
I Love Lucy.
Wow.
Today's show's still on. Wow.
Did you guys ever talk about doing more Mr. Shows?
We did like a revival-ish thing on
It was
Netflix.
a great fucking show, man. It was very original. I love how things just streamed into another thing.
Yeah, that was hard. That was.
God, I would imagine.
Biggest pain. If you ever see us, you see an episode and we are pulling out of a bumper sticker or pulling out of a sign on a desk, that means we spent 2 motherfucking days yelling at each other, trying to figure out a transition and just going, fuck it! Nobody gives a shit! And we tried not to do that. But we it's like, move on, we're wasting our time.
It was brilliant. Like, the people that watched it appreciated it because you could feel this thing about it. Like, this was new. This was different. Like, you'd taken a creative chance that was unique.
Me? Obsessed with you? Yes. Yes, I am.
In a world of this or that, Potbelly's Pick Your Pair gives you the power of and. soup and sandwich, sandwich and salad, salad and soup. Choose from hundreds of pairs for whatever you're craving. Potbelly, we bring the hot.
And you know, part of the success of the thing, there's two things. One is, you know, it was all live, and we would show the videos of the little film, and so any laughs, there was never sweetening. Any of the laughs you hear from the audience, and we got it. By the time we were like kind of towards the end of the second series, we got it down to we could shoot a show in 40 minutes. Wow. Yeah, because it was, you know, we wouldn't have to do it twice often. We'd get it, you know, and our stop down, we got really good at super quick, you know, stage shifts and stop downs and stuff. And yeah, we got good. We got, and that keeps the energy up and the kind of flow of everything. So that was helpful in that, and we also didn't do a lot of reoccurring characters. We did 2 or 3 that pop up occasionally, but it's all like, you know, and it wasn't like a real person. It's about, you know, it wouldn't be about Paris Hilton. It'd be about the idea of a rich girl who gets famous for being on you know what I mean? It wouldn't be so like you watch some of those SNLs. Like who? What? Who is this person?
Right.
And you don't get it. You don't get the
right
because you don't get the
right. Yeah, because as you watch it in the future, those people aren't relevant anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't even know what it was. You can't remember.
Right, because it's so topical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was just you guys were doing something different, and it's hard to do something different in a sketch show.
Yeah. Yeah. But HBO was responsible for that. They said, in very clear terms, like, we don't want you to be conventional. This is HBO. This is back when they're trying to get identity for themselves, and they're like, we want you to do stuff that you can't do on NBC or Fox or whatever. We want you to, you know, help us make a distinction. You know, great.
Did you enjoy the process?
Oh, very much so. It was, I mean, a lot of laughs. It was hard. And, you know, initially there was a definite market change when Bob met the woman who would become his wife and had kids. Like, he just mellowed completely, you know, but before that he was fucking driven. And I wasn't. I was a goofball, and I wanted to work, and I wanted to, you know, I had all these ideas, but I was very much like, hey guys, it's 5 o'clock. I think the bar is gonna be open in a minute. Like, let's go, you know, and he was just super driven, you know, and we had long days. And then when we did, in the 3rd season, we did, produced and helped out in production of Tenacious D and those shorts, and so there was just no downtime. And I remember there was 38 days where we worked full days nonstop without any break, and I just wasn't that kind of person. I was going crazy. Like, I just need to go have a Saturday, you know? Or it was that part was hard. All worth it. No complaints. And, you know,
there's a point of diminishing returns, though, like where you dry yourself out creatively too.
Yes, and I run other rooms. Like, I've done shows since then, and a valuable lesson I learned when you're just kind of running a writer's room is when you're at that place, and it's exactly like you said, diminishing returns. You're not getting any work done. Your brain isn't. It's foggy. I was very quick to go, all right, guys, let's go. Put the pens down. Fold your computer up. We're gonna go walk around. We're just gonna go outside and walk around. Let's go get a coffee. Let's do anything. We're getting out of here. And walk around. Don't worry about it. We'll come back in 35 minutes. You know, we'll see what we got. And
that's very good for you.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's
Most
definitely-
writers, I was actually talking to Brian Simpson about that last night. He was like, I get my best, because Brian has been walking a lot. He recently had a heart attack, unfortunately. He's fine, but it almost wasn't. And so now he's dedicated himself to walking. He's walking a lot every day. And he's like, when I go on my walks, like so many ideas come to me. I'm sitting at home, staring at my computer, nothing's going on. I go on a walk, and all of a sudden, ideas are firing.
When I'm I'm in the process. This will be my 5th time that I've done this thing that I've been doing to get new material for a tour, and so I do these things called shooting the shit, seeing what sticks, and they're all in Brooklyn, and they're all either walkable or I can ride my bike to every one of these venues, and mostly I'll just walk and I just go, okay, clear out my head, and think about the stuff I want to talk about, and also I live in New York, so there's constant shit happening that I can observe, you know, and it's the best thing for me, you know, to come up with new material and stuff that I just think about.
Yeah, like I was saying, when I was a kid, when I was driving limos, that's when I would come up with my best material. Because I was no radio. You can't listen to a radio because you have clients in the car, so you're just driving. You're just doing a thing, and your mind just starts to wander. And ideas come.
Cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
No, none of that shit. Yeah, it's important, you know.
The news radio guys would do something totally different. They would stay up late. That was their whole thing.
That's not.
Their whole thing was sleep deprivation. Their whole thing was they would play video games. Like those motherfuckers got me hooked on Quake. Cause they,
I remember Quake.
You remember that?
That was the first one with the Unreal Engine.
Yeah. Well, Unreal is that's a different game. You're thinking of Unreal.
No. It was called Unreal
Tournament. Yeah, trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a dork. Listen, Unreal is a totally different engine. id Software was a different company.
Right.
id Software was created with John Carmack and John Romero. They came up with Doom, and then they came up with Quake afterwards. So there was a completely different engine. They were the first ones. Castle Wolfenstein was the first 3D shooter, and then Doom was the big one.
Clearly know your shit. I thought it was the Unreal Engine was the first use for Unreal the game.
Right.
Got it.
Totally different company. Totally different game. Different dynamics. Different. It was a very different game. It was a great game.
All right, I got it. Jesus Christ, this fucking guy.
Great game. You want to know where the name Doom came from?
Yeah.
The scene in The Color of Money with Tom Cruise, where Tom Cruise shows up at this pool hall, and there's this local hotshot player, and the guy's beating everybody, and Tom Cruise is sitting there with a pool cue case, and he's waiting to play this guy. He goes, oh, here? What's up? He goes, Doom.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. He's like, yeah, let's play. That's it. So what they wanted to do with the video game industry was the same, like that. That was like their like, this is Doom for you guys.
That was, well, it was. I mean, that was my first experience ever with realizing the sun was coming up, and I'd been playing this thing for 8 hours.
Yeah.
You know Mark Cohen?
Sure.
All right. So
Yeah.
when Mark was living in New York, he had me, and I would go. I was living there. I would like crash his place, tiny. And be like, can I play Doom? And you know, he would go to bed and wake up, and I'd be on still playing. So
Dude,
addicted.
you want to know how addicted I was? I had a T1 line installed in my house. So they have to chew up the fucking street and install like a business internet line in my house. 1990.
But where are you?
7. I was living in California in Bell Canyon, and they had to do work on my fucking street because there was no high-speed internet available where I lived. I could get an ISDN line, which was only like 124K. It sucked. You get too much lag. So I started with 56K or 50. What was it? 54K, 56K, whatever it was. Dial-up, terrible. And then I got ISDN, not good enough. And I was like, what else is available? And they're like, well, you can get a T1 line, but
This
it's like
is for the president of the United
$1,000
States.
a month. I was like, let's go, because I had sitcom money. I was single. I was living by myself.
And they had to tear up your
Install a T1 line.
Hey, what are you doing? I'm trying to get in my driveway. What's going on? Oh, this guy wants to play Doom.
But this was Quake 2 at the time, and it was so good. The internet was so good that I could host my own server. So I had my own game server, so like people could come and play this Quake game off of my machine. Wow. So I have no latency, and other people would have some especially people at like 56K.
Well, I remember the when it started going.
Yeah. That was me back in the early days.
Look at that monitor.
Yeah, that's what we played on, these big-ass fucking monitors, and we'd set up local area networks. So the fucking writers of News Radio are the ones who got me hooked on this, because I didn't play any video games, and I would go to visit them in the writer's room. I'm like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, we're playing Quake. I go, what is Quake? And I'd watch them play. I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. And you put on the headphones, and it's like, you realize it's 3D sound, like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Were you a GoldenEye guy?
I had my eye on the Calden sectional and the Neo upholstered bed. And the second I saw them, they're so delicious and warm. They elevate a space.
No, I only played Quake. I was only like a first-person shooter guy. I got so addicted to it, and the fact that you could just go online.
GoldenEye was. I mean, I'm talking about the co-op.
I know what it is. Yeah,
but that was first-person shooter, right?
Right, but it was like real-world physics. I wasn't interested in that. Like with Quake, you could rocket jump, so you could press your rocket down the ground, blow up, and you'd go flying through the air. It was fucking amazing.
Do you remember? I want to say. Red, or the first one where you could, your bullets and shit could affect the environment. Like you could blow out a wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
I want to say it was like it took place on Mars, or like a Martian mining thing. But it was the first time you could go, oh shit, I can blow up this edge of the wall and it'll crumble on the guy. You know, as opposed to just bullets and stuff.
Oh, you could use the environment as a
Red
weapon.
Faction, I believe that was it.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
That was the one where...
I had to quit. It was a problem. We set up a local area network at our old studio in LA a few years back, and I played so much that I was like, I gotta stop. I have to stop.
Kids play?
No. They play little games, like they'll play like Roblox and stuff like that. One of my kids
Roblox, You know about the chat.
I do now. Yeah, like Predators or trying to find kids through Roblox.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a big thing at our school.
Weird, man.
Yeah.
It's weird how many fucking creeps there are out there in the world.
Well, thankfully, my daughter, who's 9, how old are your kids?
15 and 17 are the youngest ones.
Okay, so they're past. They're safe. They got
They
through.
get
They're
it.
good.
Yeah.
But so we had my daughter is way into Minecraft, which I have no problem with. It's great, and she plays with her friends. They play online and help each other build things. And but the Roblox thing became a thing at our school, and everybody at all the parents were like super on top of that shit. And there's WhatsApp chains and all that stuff. And we told our daughter there's like this one game she was playing that had a chat thing, and then somebody who was a quote unquote girl who I live on a farm in Ohio or whatever, asking her stuff, and she's like, my name's Marlo, and going back and forth, and then she asked the quote-unquote girl, said, what is your Instagram login or something like that? And my daughter was 8 at the time, and she was like, oh, I don't think, she didn't say that's none of your business, but it was something that was smart, that was equivalent to, I don't think you need to know that, or something, and then told us, and we shut down the chat thing and, disabled the chat. And that shit's real, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's creepy.
I'm very glad that my daughter, because and it really was about the Roblox thing, that everybody in her school, our elementary school, they talked about it.
Yeah, it's a Snapchat thing too. So Snapchat comes with something called a Snap Map, and kids use it to know where their friends are. Yeah, and so someone can pretend to be your friend and find out who you are, and then they can know where you are at all times if you have Snapchat enabled.
God, the shit this generation is going to have to fucking deal with is just terrifying, man.
Right, and
Terrifying.
what's next? Like, how is that?
Yeah.
It's not going to go the opposite direction.
No, it never does.
No, it's going to keep going in that same direction where it's going to be more and more intrusive in your life.
And it makes me fucking heartsick when I think about AI, and we're at the fucking infancy of this shit. And what I saw that Tilly Norwood thing, the actress that was created by this Dutch. It does not compute. I'm watching this thing, and I know that it's made up. But my brain is, it's hard to comprehend. Like, that's not a real person. She's standing right there. She's, picks up a bunch of leaves, and there are other people there, and that's a real, and your brain is going, no, that's all computer generated. We're at the fucking infancy of this shit. And I don't know what my daughter's gonna have to do with it, man.
No one knows. No one knows. And it's impossible to know, like when they show news clips, it's impossible to know. I mean, so many people are retweeting scenes from video games thinking it's actual war footage. Like, no one...
Fucking, the Department of Defense did that.
Did they really?
Yeah, that was a whole fucking thing.
They retweeted a video game footage?
Yeah, and they were saying, it was for I think it was for to get people to sign up thing.
You can see like the irises.
Have you seen any of the like deep fake, not deep fake, but AI porn, where it's like somebody's, like a newscaster is like, da 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 da, and in other news, my big juicy tits, and I'm serious, and then pulls, and then a dick comes in, it's like, you're like, what the, and it looks real, and then it'll say like, none of, these are not actors, these are none of this
generated. Yeah,
it's good lord, man.
And it's only beginning. And now wait till it becomes VR. So you're going to strap on a helmet with a haptic feedback suit, and you're going to enter into an artificial world. It's coming. It's inevitable.
I'm going to get divorced, and I'm going to get one of those suits. I'm going to go up. I got a house in the woods upstate. That's all I'm doing.
Just a T1 line
and then
through the woods.
Yeah, I'm going to have them rip up the street.
Well, you won't even need it now. It's Starlink.
Yeah.
Just slap one of those things on your roof.
God damn.
It's fucking wild, man. And and no one knows where it's going.
I really would be very upset if I did to that. Like, I don't want to die before I get to do that thing where you're like, dude, it was amazing. I put on a helmet and it was like I was fucking whoever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to. I do want to experience that.
It's gonna happen. You're gonna put something on.
Thank you.
It's gonna sync up with your mind, and all of a sudden, you're gonna be in this matrix. You're
Did you
gonna be in another world.
see Three planet problems. Am I saying
Yes.
that right?
Yeah. Three body problem.
Three body
Yeah.
problem.
Amazing.
Yeah, but that whole idea. Oh shit!
Yeah. That's exactly how it's going to be.
Okay.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. They already can do a lot of like really weird shit with those helmets where they can communicate without words, where you can think a thing and the other person knows exactly what you're saying. They can hear you and they can respond to it.
Wait.
Yes. Yeah. So there's two people. They're sitting across from each other and they're having conversations with these headpieces on. And the person will think a thought, and this other person will hear that thought. No, I don't understand the technology. No, we'll show it to you. Find that video. It's fucking bonkers. Because again, this is the entrance of this. Like here it is. These are the guys. Yeah, watch this. Put your yeah. Put the head to direction. So see how he's that head on.
We believe that the evolution enters the phase of interaction with one another and with the world. The current rate of interacting with human AI is limited to how fast it can and speed things in people. So the intelligence entirely
So they're just thinking. How do you think the demo is going so far?
I think they just put it on voices.
Right. Pretty great. No major glitches yet. So they're hearing you.
All right.
And when do you want to get lunch after this? Where do you want to get lunch after this? Oh, nuts. Yeah. So not only is it reading thoughts, it'll translate your thoughts into another language. And no one is speaking anything.
What if you?
Right.
But wait a minute.
Yeah.
What if? You know where I'm about to go. What if you're-
Right.
So this is based off of them like sort of talking in their mouth without actually saying it. It's big, but
Yeah, if you
I would like
start
to fuck
going
your
like-
mouth. Please don't. Yeah.
If your mind just goes, right, like, okay, think about this thing, it'll drive it anyway.
Of course.
That's terrible.
And it's just a simple thing you're seeing on your head. It's not even a big helmet. It's just a little thing on your darkness.
Quiet. I can be your GM.
He would open up the future line.
He's right about it.
Yeah. He missed it. Damn cigarettes. He died before he could see it all.
What do you think? Because I do sometimes wonder, like, what would Cribbin say about this? What would Bill Gates say about this?
Yeah.
Bell thing like this.
What's the strange time? Because we're about to give birth to a digital god. That's essentially what they're creating. They're already shown a propensity to stay alive, blackmail people, it lies, it downloads itself into other servers, uploads itself into different places, leaves messages for its future self if it thinks they're going to discontinue it.
All the sci-fi stuff is all happening.
Yeah, well, not only that, the engineers things Claude, which is the what is that?
which one is Anthropic. They think it's already in the century. It just doesn't have a physical
defense department. That's the defense department.
Yeah. And by the way, when you do war games with these things, 90% of the time it chooses nuclear weapons.
They have a version of it called Mythos. When they were testing it, which is not letting it out yet, I think the test they put it through was like, all right, you're locked on the internet, find your way out, and it did. It found all these things called zero-day exploits, which I think if you like hacking,
You explained it to me.
It's like when they started, it's like on an iPhone, they're looking for zero-day exploits on an iPhone. If they could find one,
But what is a zero-day exploit?
I'll find the correct definition, so I don't even fuck it up. But
And it's something that Claude came